Hello, everybody. It is Sunday, May 17th, 2026. Welcome to episode 122 of the Old Mage MTG podcast with your hosts, Old Mage Steve and Old Mage Alex.
Yo.
Thank you so much for joining us. We got a lot of topics to talk about today, Alex. A lot of things.
We have a lot of topics.
A lot of things. A few topics, but a
Okay.
lot to discuss.
Okay.
Because we've been away for a while. Why have we been away for so long? I've been spending a long time on these show notes. What do the show notes cover? Premodern saprolings and associated fungal cards. There were more than I realized. So sorry we've been gone for probably like 4 weeks now. But there's been a ton of pre-modern content, I'm sure, to keep you all occupied. There's been a lot of gameplay. New podcasts are popping up. The Retromancers have a podcast. Major tournaments have happened, including Lobstercon. We're going to discuss Lobstercon in addition to Premodern Fungi. We didn't go, but I took a look at some of the decks, and I do have some things that I would like to say. But before we get into the topics of the episode, a word from our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by Phyrexian Bread Co., a return sponsor, Alex, where ingredients are unified into house specialties like Mirrodin Marble Rye, Yawgmoth Yogurt Cake, and their famous Phyrexian Bread Knots at the Phyrexian Bread Co. All will be bun. If you can't make it out to Phyrexian Bread Co., you could support us directly, different ways. Some of those ways are free. Those are the best ways. So just subscribe to our channel on YouTube or on your favorite podcast app. If you got a little cash to burn in a hole in your pocket, you want to spend it on the Old Mages, you can become an official channel member of Old Mage MTG on YouTube for the low price of $1.99. Big thank you to our newest channel member, Jorism244. At the end of this episode, Alex has curated a poem. He's going to read it to you. If you're not Jorism244, you turn the episode off. When we get to segment 3, the Old Mage Poetry Corner, this poem is curated just for one man. If you prefer to spend that $1.99 on collectible cardboard, well, you can still support us. Click our TCG affiliate link. Buy your cardboard, we get a little percentage. I do that all the time. I did that recently, Alex. I had a recent experience with TCG Player. I clicked somebody's affiliate link. I bought 2 Bloodstained Mires from Onslaught. I don't know what I was thinking. It was like $128 after tax. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to start playing Burn now. I need Bloodstained Mires. I have my Wooded Foothills. I bought them a long time ago for Red Green Goblins. Now I'm like, oh, I can't play Burn without 8 fetch lands to fuel the Lava Man. Is that true? Probably not. We're going to discuss that a little bit later in the episode. But I bought 2 Bloodstained Mires. I only have 1. And they showed up at my house. And I was like, these don't look right. Something doesn't look right to me. So I lined them up next to my real one. Backs, colors look different. The fronts, the black border just looked a little bit too thick. And then I got out the jeweler's loop, Alex. I was going like this. I had my jeweler's loop out. I was expecting children's cardboard that I paid a cardboard from a children's card game that I spent $128 on. They were fake. I'm almost 100% positive that I was sent counterfeit Bloodstained Mires from a seller on TCG Player. And it wasn't just some dude in his basement. It was a certified hobby shop. Why am I bringing this up? Well, I learned that TCG Player has a whole process where if you feel like you've received counterfeit cards, you just contact them. They send you a shipping label. You send the cards back to them. As soon as they receive them, you get a full refund. You don't even have to have back and forth with the seller. And they don't even wait to see whether or not they were fraudulent before they refund you. It was a pretty easy process. Okay. I contacted them. They got right back to me. I shipped them the cards. Now I got $128 burning a hole in my pocket. I'm like, what other cardboard crack am I going to purchase now? I don't know yet.
Bloodstained Mires.
Bloodstained. No, I don't think so, actually. I've changed
because of
my
your
mind
recent
on
experiences that we will get to later.
It's not my recent experience, but it is somebody's recent experience that I then saw, and I thought, So yeah, TCG player, we have an affiliate link. you want to buy cards from them, you could support us by clicking our affiliate link. If somebody said you counterfeit cards, you'll get a refund. That's what I'm bringing up. That's why I brought it up.
I thought you were circling back around to that.
So don't worry about it. You never know. If you're buying from somebody on Facebook Marketplace or something, they might shank you. They might shank you in the
Yeah,
Aldi's parking lot or something.
that's what I'm always worried about. Not Aldi's really, but uh, I'm worried
Walmart
about getting
parking lot.
shanked if I try to sell something to someone or buy something.
You never know what's going to happen. Nobody's going to shank you if you purchase cards off TCG affiliate, TCG player.
True, they could send you anthrax, but no shanking.
They could send you anything. Segment one. Segment one, Alex. Today we're going to discuss pre-modern fungi and
Yes.
associated fungal cards. This is a follow-up to episode 121, where we discussed the fungal card pool in old school MTG. There was just too much old frame fungi to pack into one episode.
Yeah.
So I split it up. We got old school, now we're doing the pre-modern.
Yeah.
Episode 121, we covered fungal cards from Alpha to Fallen Empires. Now we're going to cover fungal cards that were printed between 4th edition to Scourge. And we're going to start with the creatures. We're going to cover the 1-drops, the 2-drops, the 3-drops, and the more drops. The first 1-drop I'm going to start with is Spore Frog. Alex, you said frog.
Correct.
What the hell? How are we going to start our episode on fungi with a frog? Well, it's a frog that's covered in fungal spores.
It's a spore frog. Yeah.
MTG stocks is going slow again today. Are we going to have to switch to Scryfall again?
Mm.
I don't want to. I don't want
Disapproving
to
hum.
bash MTG stocks because maybe they could be a future sponsor, but I'm ditching them. I'm done with you. There we go. I'm not done with you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought I was going to leave. Spore Frog is 1 green. It's a creature frog. It's 1/1. And it reads, sacrifice Spore Frog, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. It is a common from Prophecy. It has reprints in Modern Horizons and Commander Bloomborough. Current market price of 61 cents. At some point, it was a $4 common from Prophecy. That's kind of wild for common from Prophecy, although I think the most expensive card from Prophecy is a different common, Ristic Studies, right? For commander reasons.
I think it's from Prophecy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of those sets where, it's like known for being not so great. So it's kind of like the commons and stuff are sometimes the better cards in those sets.
What do I have to say about this frog? Well, it is a fog on a stick. You can see that. It's very vulnerable. So normally want to play 1-drops early in the game. If you play this early in the game, it's probably going to get killed before you can fog with it. But it can also recur, which is probably the best way to play Spore Frog. And the way I usually see it played, if you search TC decks for Spore Frog, you find it in decks like The Rock, where people will bring it back with Genesis and Living Death. Recurring Survival, where it's brought back with Recurring Nightmare. And Survival Infestation, where it can be brought back with Tortured Existence.
I'd like to check that out. I'd like to see that and the one or two of those decks. Living Death is a card that I've noticed it going up in price like a lot of things recently, and I've been looking at that card. I think I'd like to try working with it at some point.
I can't remember what I was listening to, but I swear like when Parallax Tide was banned, and people were talking about, what cards might make a comeback.
Yeah.
I swear I heard more than one person talking about potential Living Death brews being more viable in a meta where you don't have as much mana denial now that Parallax Tide was banned. Although I still find, at least when I go to play places locally, I'm getting denied plenty. Just
Yeah,
from
right.
freaking
They'll find a way.
Thermokarsts and Winter's Grasps and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's Fear of Resistance. So I don't know what's behind the
I like
recent
this card. It's pretty
spike.
cool. The first time I learned about it, I think I kind of like moved past it. I was like, oh, interesting, come back to that at some point. But recently I've been trying to fit it into a deck or two.
Spore Frog is also a decent Living Wish target in the sideboard of some mono green. control decks that I've seen recently. So this is a good control card, of course.
I love Spore Frog. I
Fog,
mean,
fog, fog. It's a solid common.
yeah.
It's a good place to start. 2 drops. Let's move on to the 2 drop. That's the only 1 drop saproling or fungal associated card I found in the pre-modern card pool. 2 drops.
I don't. I mean, I'm mad that it's just a frog. Like it should be a like a frog fungus or fungus frog, right?
Well,
It should
do we
also
know for
be
a
a.
fact that it's not? So I'm not on Gatherer. I don't have
Yeah, I'm on
Gatherer pulled
Gatherer.
up.
It's just
Okay.
creature frog.
Well,
Whale.
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it's not a saproling.
I'd like it if I mean, if there's going to be another card that like affects fungus creatures or different types of fungi, I would like it to be able to affect Spore Frog.
It doesn't get
Right
the
now,
fungal
it's just a
synergy.
frog, so
It
I don't
doesn't
know.
get the saproling synergy. Yes.
Yeah,
Well, oh well, it's only a common too, so you can't expect it to be all things.
I guess.
It's a 60-cent common. 2 drops, none. I didn't find any fungal, saproling, or fungi associated cards that cost 2 mana in the pre-modern card pool. At least in
Okay.
the creatures specifically. That's why I should specify
Okay.
that. We're on the creatures. So I'm moving on to the 3 drops, and in the 3 drop spot, you have a card that I think is probably it's at least in the running for one of like the worst creatures in the pre-modern card pool. It is Mindbender Spores. Mindbender Spores, Alex. I'm
Oh,
pulling up
wall.
Scryfall because MTG stocks are doing me dirty again. Mindbender Spores. It is a wall. It is 2 colorless, 1 green, summon wall, 0/1. I really like the art.
Uh-huh.
It reads flying. There's a lot of text on this one. Flying. Whenever Mindbender Spores blocks any creature, put 4 fungus counters on that creature. During its controller's untap phase, remove a fungus counter from the creature. As long as the creature has any fungus counters on it, it does not untap during its controller's untap phase. It is a rare from Mirage. No reprints because it is part of the reserve list. Current market price is $1.25. So what does this card do? It can shut down attacking threats, including flyers. So it blocks a lot of things. And it shuts them down for multiple turns. It's 0/1, so whatever attacks into it is going to kill it. But it's going to be tapped for the next 4 turns because it's going to be stuck with some fungal counters. However, many of the creatures that you have to deal with in pre-modern are tramplers. The 1 toughness makes it completely ineffective against a big trampler. And there's some scary big tramplers in the format. So like if I'm playing green and I'm like, oh, I don't have creature removal and I got a big Terravore coming after me. Is there a way that I can, trap their Terravore, prevent it from attacking me for lethal in just 2 turns? Well, you bring in your Mindbender Spores. That doesn't do shit. It doesn't do shit, Alex, because the Terravore's fucking 11/11 Trampler or 7/7 Trampler that just deals a bunch of damage. Now, then it's still tapped for a little while, but still, it does a
Yeah,
lot of
and then
damage.
hopefully you can
Does a
deal
lot.
with it. But if you're like in top deck mode,
Yes.
you're sweating.
So I don't like that its toughness is 1. I don't like. You're gonna take a lot of damage from tramplers, at least for 1 turn.
Yeah,
And hopefully you can kill them before it untaps, but you're probably not going to be able to.
it's an auto-sacrifice creature, which makes it like a spell, you know? So it's kind of like a pacifism, like on a timer, you know, in green with a different casting cost. So, you have to balance all that stuff. It's like, oh, an effect that's not in green, maybe. Otherwise, I don't know.
I'd like it more if it wasn't 3 mana and you can get it out a
Yeah,
little bit earlier.
yeah.
Maybe you can use it to, tap down their turn 1 lackey. They want to
Yeah,
attack with their turn 1 lackey. Okay, it kills your Mindbender Spores, but then it's neutralized for 4 turns or whatever.
yeah,
But
until you
we're
can
not
deal with it. So yeah, if it was a
3
little less mana, yeah.
not in use anywhere as far as I can tell. I don't see it in any deck lists. I put it in the sideboard of something that I was brewing the other day, but that's just because I was like, I'm not actually sure what to put in a solid mono green sideboard yet. So let me just stick that card here for now. But it's gone. It's gone. It's a terrible
There we go.
card. I already found some things to replace it with.
The thing about it too that's like a little makes it even a little harder to play is that at first it's going to stop them from attacking into it, right? You're not going to like voluntarily attack into it. So without it dying or doing its thing, it's giving you some defense, which is okay. But then if they kill it, then you never got to lock a creature down for multiple turns. They'll just start attacking you right away if they manage to get rid of it, you know?
Yeah, which is why it's worse than a pacifism, worse than
Yeah.
paralyzed, worse
Yeah.
than stuff like that. One of the reasons it's worse than stuff. So that was the 3 drops. There's not many 1, 2, or 3 drop
That was it.
saprolings or fungal associated creatures in the pre-modern cardboard. So we're on to the more drops.
The
One of the more
episode
drops
marches along.
yeah, one of the more drops that's pre-modern legal is Fungasaur. We're not going to talk about that one because we talked a lot about it last episode. I have nothing new to add about the Fungasaur other than yes, I have brewed a Fungasaur rock deck. I'm calling it the rock but fungus. It is bad. I haven't played it anywhere yet because it's so bad. I'm kind of afraid to play it against anybody. I have to bring it out on a dumb brew night where I get other people to agree to pull out a really bad deck so
Yeah.
I can play my Fungasaur rock deck.
Okay.
Another more drop, a 4 drop, is Fungus Elemental.
Okay.
This is
Reserved list.
it is reserveless. It is 3 colorless, 1 green, summon elemental. It is 3/3. You can pay 1 green, sacrifice a forest, and put a +2/+2 counter on Fungus Elemental. Use this ability only if Fungus Elemental came into play this turn. It's a rare from Weatherlight. No reprints because, as you said, it is reserve list. And it is only 62 cents because it is terrible and it is another candidate for the list of worst green creatures in the pre-modern card pool. I look at it as a potentially 5 mana 5/5 and you Stone Rain yourself. That's terrible.
Yeah. I want to sack 2 lands to it too. I want to make it a 7/7. So double stone running yourself.
It's potentially a 6 mana. What did I say? 5 mana. Yes, 6 mana, 7/7, and you double Stone Rain yourself.
Yeah. So that's not good.
So I don't have much to say about Fungus Elemental other than it's
I
terrible.
just it's so frustrating that
It's terrible. They
the
made a did they make a worst wood elemental? Is it worse than wood? I can't remember.
what makes me angry about it is that second the second sentence in the clause exists.
There's no reason for that, right?
Yeah, if they just didn't have the restriction of only when it came into play, like that turn, then it would be an okay card, you know? It would be underpowered at first for the 4 mana, and then, you know, you can keep making it bigger by eating your land, and it would be on flavor, like on point for flavor, because it's a fungus that's like creeping and growing and
Continues to
devouring
grow.
things,
Yeah.
and you know, why is it only able to do that for 1 turn?
That's a very good point. And they didn't make a worse wood elemental. They actually made a better wood elemental,
Yeah.
and they still managed to make a terrible card out of it. They could have at least made a somewhat playable, fringe playable card if, like you said, they just removed that last sentence. And that clause is also present in wood elemental. Wood elemental is 3 colors, 1 green, creature elemental. As wood elemental enters the battlefield, sacrifice any number of untapped forests. So, like, you can only sacrifice the forest to give power and toughness to both of these creatures as they enter the battlefield. Which makes less sense with the fungus elemental, like you said, because fungus is constantly growing and devouring and taking things over.
Yeah.
Wood elemental is worse because its power and toughness are each equal to the number of forests sacrificed as it enters the battlefield.
Instead of 2 per forest.
And without a 3/3 base power toughness.
And you can't sacrifice the forest you use to summon the wood elemental.
Yes, because they have to be untapped.
Yeah. So
yeah. Yes. Well, same with the fungus elemental too, because you have to pay green and sacrifice a forest.
well, yeah, okay.
So technically they have to be untapped too. But it at least
You
has
know,
the base.
artifacts.
At least has the. That's true. Artifacts. You could do, yeah, mana rocks.
But you're right.
Minerals, stuff like that. It at least has a 3/3 power toughness. It's weird that somebody had in their mind, like, we need to make a better wood elemental. But you didn't have to make it this bad. You could have made it fringe playable at least. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Next card. Also terrible. All these cards
Nice.
aren't going to be terrible, but we have a stretch of terrible like 4 and 5 drops here. This one has a really good name though.
Yeah,
Lycanthrope. I like the name. I like saying lycanthrope.
it's perfect. Yeah.
It is 3 colorless, 2 green. So here we're on the 5 drops. Summon lycanthrope. I don't know what this is nowadays, but I'll refuse to ever call it anything other than a summon lycanthrope. It's 5/5. For each 1 damage dealt to lycanthrope, put a -1/-1 counter on it instead. During your upkeep, remove one of these -1/-1 counters from lycanthrope. So essentially, this is a 5 mana for a 5/5 with a downside. It is a reserveless rare. Current market price 55 cents, 58 cents. It's gone up 3 cents since I wrote these show notes.
It is a plant fungus, by the way.
A plant
Creature
fungus.
plant fungus.
Okay.
So why couldn't Spore Frog be frog fungus?
That's a good point,
Sorry.
actually.
I'll
No,
back
you're
up.
right. Let's send a message tomorrow.
Okay. Lycanthrope, what it should be able to do is grow bigger than 5/5 once it has healed from its damage.
It would be better, potentially fringe playable.
Yeah.
I would even be okay with it if you could remove more than one -1/-1 counter during your upkeep.
Yeah.
The fact that they bolt it, it gets -3/-3, and the next turn, it's just back to being a 3/3 because you can only remove one of the -1/-1 counters. It
Yeah.
just makes it way too weak to
Too slow,
to
yeah.
do anything with. Get the fuck out of here.
Get out
Next
of here.
card. Next card. These last two made me angry. The next one's pretty sick. I mean, I don't play it in anything, but I definitely play it. I don't play it in any 60 card construction, but you know, I would play this in a casual commander deck.
I like the feel of this and the art.
100%.
I put it in that one commander deck when we were fooling around.
Yeah. Namada Grove Guardian. It's 4 colorless, 2 green, a creature, tree folk legend, 4/5. It says pay 2 colorless, 1 green, put a 1/1 green saproling creature token into play. Also, sacrifice a saproling, all saprolings get +1/+1 until end of turn. It's a rare from Plane Shift. It has a reprint in Commander Masters. Current market price for the Plane Shift copy, $1.22. I call this a must-have for your Tree Folk Saproling Commander deck. What else? There's not many other cards that are a better fit for a Tree Folk Saproling Commander deck, Alex. It occasionally sees play in casual big green decks too. I found it on in some deck lists on MTG Top 8. I don't know if I pulled those up. Did I pull those up? I did. So these are pre-modern decks. This is a deck played back in 2022, played by Lucas Fujin. It is Trinity Natural Order. This harkens back to old Trinity green lists. They're basically big green lists. Gaia's Cradles, lots of Manimals, Finhorn Elves, Llanowar Elves, Priest of Titania, Rophalos, so generate a lot of mana. And then you got a lot of big green fatties like Thorn Elemental, Verdant Force, Weatherseed Treefolk. This deck happens to run Phantom Neshoba and Namada Grove Guardian as well as some of their big green fatties. So it's a Manimal, Ramp, Fatties, Natural Order deck too.
Saw that. Makes me wonder if I should have 4 natural orders in my beasts deck.
I recently finished my playset, Premodern or of Visions Natural Orders. Premodern playset completed, Alex.
Hmm.
Really excited
I
about
have
that.
1 portal and 2 or 3 visions copies. I forget.
The thing that I like about these Trinity decks, big green decks from this era, is that they also have some a disruption associated with them too. They're not just ramping out fatties or natural order and out fatties. They usually run some number of desert twisters too. Removal. You got your naturalizes, of course, and then they run plow under
Uh-huh.
and tangle wire. So there's an element of disruption to them too. Whenever I build decks like this, I always want to just do ramp and fatties. And then I'm always immediately reminded after playing it like once or twice that you can't really build a deck that's functional with just ramp and fatties, Steve. You got to take out some of the fatties. You got to take out some of the ramp, and you have to do something to disrupt your opponent's game plan in some way, or else you're just always going to be killed in turn
Yeah.
5. Yes, you're going to natural order out, you're in the mod, and you're going to be really excited, and then you're going to die before you get to do anything.
Yeah, I don't know if I have that problem. I'm like I know I always want to put removal and stuff in and answers. I want to put a lot of answers in my deck. It might go the opposite way for me. I might try to like put too many answers in, you know.
It's an issue I have specifically with green fatty decks, I think.
Really.
Yeah. Most other decks, I mean, I always start
What
with plenty of
what
artifact and enchantment destruction, creature removal. So many of the decks I build have white in them, start with 4 STPs. But
uh-huh.
I build the green fatty, and there's so many cool fatties.
Yeah. It's hard to settle on like what awesome green creatures you want to run in like, whatever. Like Phantom Nishoba, like that's great. I always want to put that in a deck where maybe I'm, cheating something out.
Uh, from the same time period, also 2022. These are some decks that were played actually in the Magic Online Society back in 2022. Namada was also in a couple Elves decks. So again, they just run 4 guys cradles. They run a bunch of elves for ramp, Finhorde elves, Land War elves, Priest of Titania, Rofalos. So very similar. But then you also got like Well-Wisher, Wirewood Symbiote, Deranged Hermit, and he threw a Namada Grove Guardian in there as well. He
Looking
just
at these
loves
Birchlore
the Pet.
Rangers.
What are you looking at?
Birchlore
Oh,
Rangers.
yes.
Uh, what's going on
Birch
with that?
Birchlore Rangers, 1 green, 1/1. Tap 2 untapped elves you control. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. You can
Yeah.
also morph it out for 3, or play it for its morph cost of 3, and then you morph it for 1 green. Tap 2 untapped elves you control. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool.
What's the non-green in here?
Birchlow Rangers, Color of the Craw, Deranged Hermit, Elvish Champion, Finhorn and Llanowar Elves, Priest of Titania, Quirion Ranger, Rofalos, Timberwatch Elf, Vertaloth the Ancient, Well-Wisher, Wire Symbiote. None. I also don't see any non-green in the sideboard. Maybe the guy was just like, I need even more ramp. 4 Finhorn, 4 Llanowar, 4 Priest of Titania, 4 Quirion Ranger. Uh, that's just not enough. I got to have another option to maybe tap some of my non-mana generating elves to generate mana. So I'm going to throw my Birch Lords in there. I don't know, Alex. To be honest, this isn't a card that sees a lot of play in elves decks that I
Yeah,
see.
that's the thing. They have to be untapped, and those, like
Yeah.
if your Priest of Titania is untapped,
I also got to say, this was
be
back
more
in
mana.
2022, Alex. This was like a different world almost in pre-modern, where
True.
a lot of people were just playing. I mean, people still play their pet cards, but there is more of that back in 2020.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, maybe it's just about being an elf or just having more, yeah, one drops that can. One thing it can do is allow you
Okay.
to
Could just be
tap
more one drops.
elves that just came into play for mana if they have summoning sickness. You could use that to
That's
tap
true.
those.
Okay.
That's one thing.
Okay. Yes, so it allows you to utilize your mana elves for mana sooner if there's a Birch Lore
Yeah.
already in play. This is also a bit of an Anthem style Elves deck too. And, he runs Anthem Elvish Champions in here as well. So, a 1-drop, 1/1 with a special ability becomes better if part of your strategy is maybe just, pump on my elves
Yeah,
and keep
yeah.
attacking with them.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Maybe it's just because it's an elf, for a one drop. Okay.
So there you go. There's Namada, big green, various big green builds. It also made an appearance, a top 8 appearance in Pro Tour 2001. I don't know if I pulled this deck up before or not. I did. Pro Tour Barcelona 2001. There's a caveat to this, though. It was the limited portion of the Pro Tour. So it's just draft. So you're going to see a lot
Uh,
of weird decks like, in the limited portion of the Pro Tour. Things that won't make the cut in the constructed portions. But it does have a top 8 at a Pro Tour.
Okay.
Played
Neat.
in Red, Green, Black by Alan Comer of Xerox fame. We discussed some of his famous decks in earlier episodes. The next card, Alex. The next card we're going to talk about that is fungal or saproling or fungal associated in the premodern card pool that is also a creature. It's in the same damn deck that was played by Alan Comer in Pro Tour Barcelona 2001. It is Vertaloth the Ancient.
Ah, sweet.
Vertaloth the Ancient. This is the kind of card, like Namada Grove Guardian, that sometimes you just play because of the name, right? You just sometimes it just feels good to say I'm casting Vertaloth the Ancient.
Yeah, it has a good name.
It's 4 colorless, 2 green, creature, tree folk legend, 4/7. It has a kicker X. All other tree folk and all saprolings get +1/+1. So it's anthem for your tree folk. It's an anthem for your saprolings. When it comes into play, if you played the kicker cost, you put X 1/1 green saproling creature tokens into play. So it can also be a saproling generator.
But only if you have lots of mana.
Only if you have lots of mana. It's a rare from Invasion. It was reprinted. It's been reprinted a lot. Reprinted in Time Shift, Modern Masters, Campaigner Masters, Arch Enemy, Jumpstart Foundations, current market price of $1.32 for the original Invasion copy. This is a second must include in your Tree Folk Saproling Commander deck. If you don't
Definitely.
have Namada and Vertaloth in your Commander Tree Folk Saproling deck, I don't know what the hell you're doing.
Definitely.
And it had 2 damn top 8s in the pre-modern era, but just in limited again. So it was an Alan Comer's deck from the same, no, not from the same Pro Tour, from Pro Tour Los Angeles 2001. It was in blue, white, green by Lawrence Creech. But you know, limited, you run a lot of weird stuff. It was also running Jade Leech, which makes your green spells you cost play 1 green more to play.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you got to play cards like that.
You got to do what you got to do.
Your creature selection is limited.
Yeah. But I like Vertaloth. I grabbed one of these a couple years ago, pretty early on. I was like, oh, that looks cool. Grab one for $1.
I don't know if I have one, but I should if I don't have one yet. Because yeah, this is, I mean, it's just fun to make casual, big, stupid green decks. And this is good for those. At least fun for me. I like those kind of decks.
And if you know me, you know that I like a 7 toughness creature with lower power than its toughness.
You love creatures with fat asses. You love a big fat ass on your creatures. I've said that many times.
Can't hurt me. 4/7.
Not part of the 3/6 mafia.
No, which we will get to.
But that's okay.
Kicker, you can't use the kicker when you natural order it into play, right? Because you have to be playing it. You may pay an additional X as you play the spell, I'm pretty sure, and you're not allowed to kicker.
Yeah, now I don't know if it has updated. Let me pull up the modern frame reprint. It still says the same shit. You may pay an additional X as you cast the spell.
I'm pretty sure. I think I looked that up once before because I was curious, but
it doesn't say play, it says cast. But when you natural order a creature and you're not casting it, also. Yeah.
So too bad, because that would be sweet.
Too bad, so sad. It would still be a lot of mana because you got to pay 4 for the natural order then.
Right.
But you know, cuts down the casting cost by 2. Anyways. Okay, so here we're up in the more drops. We're at the high end of the more drops.
Okay.
And when you start to get up to 6 casting costs, you don't find many creatures that put up results in serious tournament play. You know, we learned from Zvi in his articles on fires that, you know, I think it was in his fires article. If not, it was some other article that he wrote that I read, where he basically made the statement or made the case that if you're going to play something in on the competitive scene that costs 4 mana,
6 mana,
4 mana.
Oh,
4 mana. It better win the game.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of where, like, that's not where my head was at when I was playing back in the 90s, and I was just, you know, not playing in tournaments.
Right.
Just playing kitchen table Magic.
Yeah. Now everything, if you're playing competitively, it's all optimized. You're not playing many high casting cost cards at all.
You're not gonna last that long. Yeah. So you don't see a lot of stuff with high casting costs, at the top in the top eight or at the top tables in competitive play. But Alex,
But
I'm going to show you an exception. This
okay,
creature did make an appearance various times on the Pro Tour in top eights. This
especially
creature,
as a I don't know if Zvi said anything about this in that article or in that statement. I feel like especially if it's a creature you're paying, if you're bringing out like a high casting cost creature, you know what I mean? It has to be
yeah,
really, really good.
yeah,
There are some spells that are expensive that like, have pretty significant game altering effects.
yes,
You know what I mean? I don't know.
I agree. There's a little more leeway for incredibly powerful enchantments, especially. But we're not talking about those right now. We're talking about Rith the Awakener, Alex.
Nice.
Rith the Awakener is 3 colors, 1 red, 1 green, 1 white. Creature, dragon legend. It is 6/6. It has flying. Whenever Rith the Awakener deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 2 colorless, 1 green. If you do, choose a color. Put a 1/1 green saproling creature token into play for each permanent of that color. This is a rare from Invasion. It has reprints in From the Vault Dragons, Dual Decks, and fairly recently in Dominaria Remastered. Current market price for the Invasion copy is $1.65, so it's still very cheap. When I started playing Magic again, back in 2021, 22, the first cards I bought I think the first card I bought was actually Solkanar the Swamp King. And then shortly after that, I started buying some other legends from Legends. I started buying the Elder Dragons. Then very shortly after that, I saw the new set
The new
of
Elder
legendary dragons
Dragons.
from Invasion. I bought these guys.
I bought a couple of them, not all of them, but
Riff, I bought them very early. I've been wanting to play them in something. I've been messing around with different fires builds. I haven't actually brought them to the meetup. I should. I need to play them in something, but people be swords them, which is what kept me away from Riff. You spend all that time and effort to get this guy out, and then they cast a Swords to Plowshares. But at least you gain 6 life.
yeah.
It's better than them countering it, which is the other thing they do all the time when you need to get 6 mana out. Then somebody comes along and they go, no, they counterspell it. That's really rude. We've talked about Rith before. Uh, in the episodes we did on Fires of Yavimaya decks from back in the day. It was in John Finkel's top 8 Fires deck as a one of PT Chicago 2000. It was in Brian Kibler's famous No Fires red, green, white deck as a 2 of. It was the feature piece of his deck. That's why people call him the Dragon Master. I think that's what they call him still, decades later.
Someone called me the Dragon Master.
I was thinking the same thing, Alex. I was going to actually tell you to start calling me the Dragon Master because I was casting
Oh.
dragons probably before Brian Kibler was. But then I thought about it. It's not, they don't call him the Dragon Caster, they call him the Dragon Master. And even though I probably cast Shivan Dragon before Brian Kibler cast Rith the Awakener or even Shivan Dragon, I'm not entirely sure though. I'm not sure what age Brian Kibler is. I feel like we're pretty close in age. Even though I may have cast the dragons before him, I didn't master the dragons. I never
You didn't
cast.
masterfully cast them.
No, I was not in. I was not in the top 8 on the Pro Tour. I didn't even make it to the finals of the one tournament I played in the late '90s
At the
in
Knights of
at
Columbus
a
Hall.
Knights of Columbus Hall in Poland, Ohio. I didn't even.
Me neither.
So what do you do? What do you do with Rift today in pre-modern? If you want to play. Well, I found a few entries on TC decks, and I wanted to highlight one in particular. You could put them in a fire stacks, right? Right, very similar to the No Fires Kibler deck. I classify that one with the Fires decks because it was from the same time period when everybody was playing Fires. He chose to play the same color trio, but no Fires. It was a bold choice. So you could build a deck like that, like the Fires decks, with or without Fires. But I want to highlight one entry that I saw on TC decks. This man, the designer of this deck, knows how to fucking riff, Alex. This guy
Yeah,
riffs hard.
yeah.
I found this deck called Rith Midrange by Swiftcut 1987.
Okay.
And I kind of want to bring this to meetup. I don't have Mox Diamonds, but I can proxy it. Fucking Mox Diamonds like $1,500 now. I find that shit.
God.
I find that shit. It doesn't bother the Mox Diamond price doesn't bother me because I don't know. I have a mental block in my head. I have like an inability to pay more than $100 for almost all Magic cards. So when they start to go above $100, they're put into the bin of cards
Yeah.
that
Just
I don't even consider.
not on the radar
They're
anymore.
not on my radar anymore.
No.
So Mox Diamond has been in that bin ever since we started playing it.
Yeah, I kind of agree too. I'm like, yeah, really.
I make an exception for some old school stuff. My limit for those is like 200, kind of, maybe 250. I've really been eyeing an Angus and a Gwendolyn for a long time. Haven't done it yet. I might one day. I would buy an Angus or a Gwendolyn, a legendary legend from Legends, before I would buy an equally priced $250 card from Premodern. I don't even consider. So
Yeah,
the Mox price doesn't bother me that much because it was never on my radar. What bothers me are the cards that were like 50 cents and are now like 25 bucks. I'm
yeah,
like,
I agree. Yeah,
anyways,
I
Rith
can get by
midrange.
without playing Mox Diamond without owning them. Like, I don't like desire it terribly for any certain deck I want to build.
That's the other thing. I never even built
Yeah,
decks
I
with
can
them in
just
it. So
pretend it doesn't exist.
yeah, and proxy it. Creatures, 13 creatures, one Exalted Angel, one Flame Tongue Kavu, two Grim Lava Mancers, one Mother of Runes,
Okay,
three Thornscape Batter Mages,
really?
two Weathered Wayfarers, and then run one Rith the Awakener. So this is like mid-range heaven for me. This is all sorts of creatures that I love playing in pre-modern. You said really to the three Thornscape Battle Mages. You were surprised by that.
I was a little surprised. I
It's
was just pulling it up to double check what its abilities are. Kick it for 2 damage,
yeah,
or kick it to destroy an artifact, which are both good.
yeah.
Good card. If you have a lot of, if you're not having problems with mana or anything, which he's probably not.
It's the artifact destruction. To be honest, like if I was just building this deck just from scratch, I probably wouldn't go three right away. I'd have two naturalize in here
You would
instead.
learn that you need it because of artifacts.
Well, I would have two naturalize instead. I
Oh yeah.
usually start most of my decks, especially mid-range decks, with a minimum of two ways to kill artifacts
Uh-huh.
and enchantments.
Yeah.
So
Similar, yes.
yeah, but who knows? Maybe I'd modify that after playing this for a little while. So those are the 13 creatures. Sorceries, three Call of the Herd, so more creatures. Three Cataclysm, which is a card that I started playing a long time ago, and I fucked myself every time I cast it. And ended up changing my whole white weenie strategy. But people say it's really good, and I'm sure it is. I just, like I said, fuck
Maybe
myself
you were
every time I
hasty.
cast it.
Maybe you had such a
I'm
strong
always
react,
hasty. I'm hasty when it comes to Magic the Gathering. I don't slow play sometimes when I should slow play. I make impulsive decisions, not only in the moment when I'm playing, sometimes I make impulsive decisions right after, and I just completely revamp the deck.
I make gambly decisions. I like know that something isn't like the correct play, but I'm like, but the payoff. What if
Yes,
I get lucky? You
but
know?
it will be cool.
Yeah.
Instance 10, two lightning bolts, four swords to plowshares. This is why I say this guy wriths. He wriths hard as fuck. Four wrist charms. Four. One red, one green, one white. A card that I like, a card that Ryan from Ohio thinks is probably underplayed in pre-modern. It's above rate in pre-modern. What does it do? It's an instant. Choose one. Destroy target non-basic land, or that comes in handy a lot, or put 3/1/1 green saproling creature tokens into play. That's pretty good. Or prevent all damage a source of your choice would deal this turn. That sometimes comes in handy as well.
Yeah. Great effect and not great for the mana cost, but
Not great for the mana cost,
the
but you can
third
build
the
a
third,
deck.
third effect I meant. But
Yeah,
uh,
okay.
I like it overall too, though. It's a lot of versatility, and you might be very happy to cast that for that mana cost, to do one of those things.
It's a very strong mid-range card.
And
And I
being one
like,
of the green three colored charms like that, it's a little bit easier to cast.
Mhm.
Maybe.
Not in this deck because he has no birds or anything, but
Yeah, yeah.
this is a Mox Diamond deck too. So artifacts, 2 Mox Diamond, 1 Scroll Rack, enchantments, 2 Sylvan Library. And then your lands, he has some City of Traders, which I wouldn't have thought to put in here. I wanted to put them in here, but we'll see. Let's play around with this a little bit, see how it goes. 4 Battlefield Forges, 1 Brush Land, 4 Wooded Foothills, 4 Windswept Heaths, 2 Treetop Village. Then you got your forests, your mountains, your plains. This is, typical Naya, pre-modern Naya mana base. And then again, this is why I say this guy knows how to Rith. 3 Rith's Grove. So he got all the Rith creatures or all the Rith cards into here. He got Rith himself, Rith the Awakener. You got the Rith Charm and the Rith Grove. This is a Rith heavy deck. And that's what you should do. If you're going to play Rith the Awakener, go full throttle, Alex. Go all the way.
Lean into it.
Play Rith, give him his charms, give him his growth. I like the deck very much. I love this deck, actually. Will I go, when I go to monthlies, I like to at least try to go like 50-50, 2 and 2, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Will I win 2 games with this at the monthly? Probably not. No. Everybody will kill me before I'll be able to do what I want to do with it, probably. But I like this deck. I love the cards in it. I love that he put all the Rith cards in it. I love mid-range decks. I live in
Yeah, I do
mid-range
too.
hell. I
I like
love
a
it.
lot of these cards
Yeah.
together. I like the white, red, green combo. Uh, I would have automatically put Birds of Paradise in it because that's just me, and I'm not thinking the same way that this person is. Uh, and I don't have Mox Diamonds. But one thing I think is interesting is that there's one Mother of Runes, and that's a good like data point for me because sometimes I'm trying to decide like if I can put that in a deck just as like a couple or one like to help me out.
hmm
So I like seeing just one of in here, like, encourages me to try the same thing.
When I first started to build White Weenie, I started with 4 Mother of Runes because everybody's
Uh-huh.
like, this is a great card. And then I went down to 3 Mother of Runes and 2 Mother of Runes, so I took it all the way out.
Yeah.
But I didn't totally change my strategy. I shouldn't say that because my strategy, I did have it was always an aggressive strategy. I mean, White Weenie has to be an aggressive strategy.
Well, but yeah, but you have sub, you know,
Exactly.
paths that you're going to take.
Similar to Burn, similar to like any aggressive deck. If it's going to be good, it has to be able to function on different gears.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but I I made it more aggressive as time went on. And I felt like for it to function well with the game plan that I was most comfortable with, uh, the mothers were just getting in the way. I I found myself wanting just a 1/1 with some sort of evasion that I could attack with more often than I wanted a Mother of Runes. I needed to deal damage fast, frequently, in order to ever win games with this deck. And Mother of Runes, it was just coming out, and I didn't want to attack with it because then I wouldn't be able to utilize its ability,
Mhm.
right? But then it was just sitting there without really a key piece to protect. So it was just a card that was like not doing damage for 3 turns, where I could have had a Suntail Hawk doing damage for 3 turns, and maybe I would have won the game. So
Mhm.
I actually swapped it out for Suntail Hawk, which is the 1/1 drop with flying. But that worked better for me for my strategy. But in a deck like this with fewer creatures, and it's a slower deck, I think it's
And
much
no
better.
anthem effects either. Your
No
Suntail
anthem
Hawk wouldn't
effects.
be growing in this
Exactly.
deck.
Exactly.
The Mother of Runes can protect your Rith from the Swords to Plowshares that, you're worried
Exactly.
about.
Or your 1 Exalted Angel. There are key pieces that are more important to protect, and it's also a slower deck, so you might want to use it as a blocker more often. So it fits. It fits better in this deck. I understand the case for Mother of Runes. It's just my particular White Weenie build. I just didn't like it.
Yeah, I hear you.
I feel like I'm trying to defend myself all the time for not playing Mother of Rings and my White Weenie.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Well,
even
no,
know who I'm
I've
defending
had a
myself
similar
against.
experience. I've like, like I recognize that it's a great card and I was excited to put it in decks. And then a few times like I, you know, thought it would help me more than it ended up, helping me. Like, so it's like a lot of other cards, you have to make sure you're playing it in the right deck, you know, at the right time.
That's Rith mid-range.
Cool, I like it.
I'm going to go on to the next fungal creature, Alex.
All right.
This creature is 7 mana.
Yes.
This creature is not part of the 3/6 Mafia. It's part of the 6/4 Mafia, which it might be there all by itself. Fungal Shambler. Fungal Shambler, Alex. 4 colorless, 1 green, 1 blue, 1 black. Creature beast, 6/4. It has trample. Whenever Fungal Shambler deals damage to an opponent, you draw a card, and that opponent discards a card from his or her hand. It's a rare from Apocalypse. It has no reprints, and nobody's clamoring for this reprint either because it has a current market price of 29 cents, and nobody cares.
Ouch.
Nobody cares about this card. I don't ever see it in pre-modern.
No.
There's no top 8s with it that I was able to find. It costs 7 mana, and it's not the most popular color combo.
No.
People call this bug. Black, blue, green. You say
Yeah, bad casting cost and only has 4 toughness. So like, you're trying so hard to get this out and then like you can be killed pretty easily.
I will say though, Alex, I did find it in one rogue bug brew
Oh yeah.
on TC decks, and I think I love this deck too, Alex.
Oh yeah.
I really, I really like it. It's a
Okay, now we
goofy.
get some Birds of
It's
Paradise. Now I'm
it's
happy.
really budget. I like that too. It's a budget mid. It also exists in mid range hell, which is where I love to. That's where I was born.
Uh-huh.
It's
Ohio.
Leandro, huh?
I said Ohio.
Yeah. That's the isn't that the state motto? Mid range hell.
Mid-range
Leandro
hell.
Bittner's bug and a sanctuary. Bug and a sanctuary. It has 21 creatures, 4 birds of paradise, 1 fungal shambler,
Okay,
4 Gaia Skyfolks, which is a card that
nice.
I really like,
Like that card.
4 ravenous rats.
Okay,
So you'll see there's a fair amount of discard in this deck. 4 Shadow Mage infiltrators,
okay.
which is a beautiful card that John Finkel says is unplayable. You don't see a lot of in pre-modern, but John Finkel and I have different definitions of what unplayable means. So, I can play this card.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that
Uh,
unplayable, but
and then 4 Urborg Drakes. So there you have Ravenous Rats. That causes discard. Shadow Maid Infiltrator allows you to draw a card. Urborg Drake is 1 colorless. People don't know. 1 blue, 1 black, 2/3 flying. Urborg Drake attacks each turn if able. I don't know why I was like leading into this being like a discard or a card draw card because it's not either, but
oh, okay.
it's a flyer. Fungal Shambler has discard and card draw.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of there's evasion and card advantage in this creature package.
Yeah.
You have Fungal Shambler, card advantage, Gaia Skyfolk, evasion, Ravenous Rats, discard. It's not really card advantage because you have to pay 1 card to steal a card from them. But Shadow Mage Infiltrator has evasion, it has fear, and Urborg Drake has evasion, flying. Taking like a Birds of Paradise has evasion also. It flies. It just has a 0 power. Why did I bring that up? You'll find out soon.
It's Rancor.
There is a Rancor. There's sorceries are 4 Cobalt therapies, 4 duress, because there's black in the deck, and it's a goofy mid-range deck, but you don't want to lose every game.
Right.
So if there's going to be black in your goofy mid-range deck and you already have some other discard in the deck, you got to put in Cabal Therapies and Duress. These can just help you win a game sometimes, even with your stupid mid-range Fungal Shambler deck, right?
Mm-hmm. I might try taking out like, 2 duress and put in naturalizes or something. I don't know if that's a crazy thing to say, but like that's kind of where I would go as a starting point.
What a fucking lunatic you
Am
are,
I a
Alex. I can't.
lunatic?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
2 Smothers are the instance.
Nice.
And then the enchantments, this is where it gets spicy. 2 Rancors, 1 Oversold Cemetery, which actually I know it's a card that you like, but I'm looking in this deck and I can't really figure out why it's in this deck over other things.
I've lost some of its luster for me recently. I've talked about it a bit, and now I'm kind of getting away from it some.
Mm-hmm. It's 1 colorless, 1 black enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 4 or more creature cards in your graveyard, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. I mean, you have a fair amount of creatures in this deck. It's a 21 creature deck, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's not a graveyard deck like
There's not sacrifice effects in here all
only
over the
Cabal
place,
Therapy.
or
Yeah, there's not like a way to really, you're not always going to have a lot of creatures in your deck just quickly with this
yeah,
deck.
and
I
that's what
mean,
I find with
creatures in your
Oversold
graveyard.
Cemetery so far is that it's harder than you think to end up with 4 creatures in your graveyard. And even if you do, you bring 1 back to your hand that you still have to cast, and then you have only 3 in your graveyard again, so you have to get another one. So it's
Yeah.
like a little bit tough to get it running. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And when it is running, you're still just,
Casting.
recasting.
Recast.
I like it with like Spore Frog because it's so easy to recast the Spore Frog,
There you go.
Um, anyways,
There you
I
go.
want to get to the Ana Sanctuary.
This is the centerpiece of the deck. I mean, he called it Bug in
Yeah,
Sanctuary, and I've looked at these cards before. They're very cheap.
and I
Looks like
can't
a
remember
nice
what it does,
card.
so it's like I'm on the edge of my seat waiting.
Oh, Alex, be prepared to be amazed. 2
Lay
colors,
it
1
on me.
green, enchantment. This is an uncommon from Apocalypse. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a blue or a black permanent,
Ooh.
which that happens a lot in this deck,
Yeah.
Shadow Mage Infiltrator has blue and black. Urborg Drake has blue and black.
Mm-hmm.
Fungal Shambler has blue and black. And then you have Ravenous Rats, which is just black. So
Yeah, but
basically,
easy to get out.
if you want that online, you have to have a Fungal Shambler uh, in play, which you're probably not going to have in play because it's 7 mana, or a Gaia Skyfolk in play, or a Shadow Mage Infiltrator in play, or an Urborg Drake in play. So yeah, you got a lot of cards. 15 cards with blue that are permanents. So if you have a blue or black permanent, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Not great.
No.
Underwhelming. If you control a blue permanent and a black permanent, that creature gets +5/+5 until end of turn.
Wow, all right.
So you got this, silly little enchantment sitting over here. If you can just stick 2 of your creatures on the board, then you can get +5/+5 for your Birds of Paradise, which can fly over for 5 damage.
Or your Shambler.
Or your Gaia's Skyfolk, which could then fly over for 7 damage. Or your Shambler, which could trample over for a fair amount of damage. Or your Shadow Mage Infiltrator, which has Fear, so it can chip in for 6 damage. Or your Urborg Drake, which is 2/3 flyer, so it could fly over for 7 damage. So, you could unexpectedly pretty quickly all of a sudden deal 5, 6, 7 damage with some piddly little flyer or fear creature. And I like that.
Yes.
You
have
it's not
Rancor to give things trample. So if you give that 5/5 to something that doesn't have the trample.
Rancor to give things trample. Yeah. So I dig it.
Yeah, I like it. It's a very interesting and creative combo, I feel like. I haven't seen a deck like this, but I like, what this person was thinking about.
It's very budget friendly. I mean, by far the most expensive card in this deck is probably the 1 Reflecting Pool. Which what are Reflecting Pools running these days?
$30,
Reflecting Pool.
20 to 30, 25. I saw the Lord of the Rings one. It was like $30 today.
Yeah. Commanders, you can get the Commander Legends printing for 13
Yeah,
something.
cheaper copies for 15 or something. Yeah, okay.
Other ones are 20, 30. I don't know what the Tempest one is, but yeah. Anyways, I like this. I like this brew.
Find out what the Tempest one is, Steve.
Well, I got to go to MTG stocks.
I'll look. I'll do
Yeah,
it.
why not? Yeah, you got a computer in front of you, Alex.
I'm doing it. I ask because I
Jesus.
think I remember it being expensive compared to
Is it like $50 now?
I have a reprint. Um, yeah, 40 something.
Okay.
It's terrible.
Okay.
Makes me sad. Lightly played on TCG players, $43.
Holy smokes. Okay.
Holy smokes. But I'm trying to remember what I have. I have a Baldur's Gate reflecting pool. which I like. It's pretty handsome. But I also
Okay.
don't find myself playing Reflecting Pool very much.
Same.
I don't know if I should play it more. I know some decks like it, but
I
I just
really like it, but I don't play many three-color combo decks or three-color decks in Premodern, to be honest.
yeah.
The deck that I do sleeve up most often is the Lightning Angel deck. I put one Reflecting Pool in there because I love Reflecting Pool. I always loved Reflecting Pool.
Ooh.
I've been loving Reflecting Pool since before it was cool to love Reflecting Pool. I loved Reflecting Pool the first time I saw it, actually, when I opened it up in a Tempest pack. I was like,
When
I
you
love this
saw
card.
your own visage reflected
I saw my
in the
reflection
pool,
in the pool printed on
you're
the
like, I'm
card.
in love.
Yes. But I love that card a lot. I do play it in the Lightning Angel deck. But
Okay.
I don't know that I ever have more than one. That seems
Yeah,
like the appropriate number for fucking pools.
I agree.
Anyways, I really like this deck. Big up to Leandro Bittner for putting Fungal Shambler in a deck.
Yeah,
I like to see that.
looks
Budget
like
deck,
fun.
fun deck. There's a lot of gold in here, Alex. That's one way to get me excited too.
Uh-huh.
If you put 15 gold border creatures in your deck, I'm in. I was in the last one and they only had one copy of Rith. I was in. That's a dragon though. So you get bonus point for being a dragon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Another big high casting cost green creature. Not a fungus, but it generates saprolings. This is uh one that everybody loves and knows. Can you guess what it is, Alex? It is Verdant Force.
I
Good
was gonna
guess.
say Verdant Forest. Dang,
Verdant Force.
I didn't think it was a fungus.
It's not. I said
It's
it wasn't
just
a.
the sapling token. Okay.
I said it's not a fungus, but it
I know you.
generates saplings.
You
I
just said it.
just
I
said that.
know. I know.
It's 5 colorless, 3 green, summon elemental, 7/7. We'll find a Tempest copy. It reads, during each player's upkeep, put a sapling token into play. Treat this token as a 1/1 creature. Flavor text says Burl, Scurf, and Bower, Birth, Fern, and Flower. And it looks like it
I always
was
like that.
illustrated by the guy whose name I can never remember. Every time I bring this up, I blank as soon as I want to bring it up. Maurice Sendak, but it wasn't illustrated by Maurice Sendak. It was illustrated by D. Terlizzi, who is also a fantastic illustrator. Just reminds
Agree.
me very much of a character from Where the Wild Things Are.
Yeah. I love this card though. I remember when it came out and I was like, putting this in my green deck immediately. Natural Order, Verdant Force. I was so stoked that it triggers on each player's upkeep.
Yes.
So I get two.
You get 2, Alex.
Two.
2. Reprints in Plane Chase, Dominaria, Commander Anthology, 9th and 10th editions, a World Championship deck, and more. It's been reprinted so many times because the people love Verdant Force. It was the premier natural order tutor target of its time. That's what you did with it. You natural ordered for it. It's a legend of the Wakefield School, Alex. In earlier episodes of the Old Mage MTG podcast, we talked about the Wakefield School. We went to
Mhm.
school with Jamie Wakefield, learned how he builds decks. He loves fatties. This was the premier fatty of the time. It's also found in Rexer decks back in 1998. Where's that deck? Like Brian Selden's recurring survival deck from Worlds 1998. We talked about this on an earlier episode. There it is right there. To the right of Uktabi Orangutan, to the left of All of Blossoms, below Orcish Settlers. It was also in the mono green fatty deck called Secret Force that we talked about again on a previous episode of the podcast. This one was designed and piloted by Jamie Wakefield in PT New York 1999. You see the Verna Force right there. Again, right to the right of Uktabi Orangutan. Why does it always end up to the right of Uktabi Orangutan? Because Moxfield arranges the creatures in alphabetical order. Dumb question.
And V comes after you.
V comes after you. Secret Force. You have your elves for ramp, so you can ramp out the fatty. You have your walls and Spike Weaver to slow aggro. If you don't want to ramp out your Verdant Force, you can also natural order for it. This is an example of an early successful mono green fatty deck. Unlike the decks that I would build, they also have some mono disruption. They ran 4 creeping molds,
Oh,
3 wastelands,
boy, I was just about to say
3
this would
spike
be a
weavers.
decent budget deck to put together, and then I saw the guy's cradles. And
The guy's cradle. That's the problem. That's the problem with all the big green decks. It's like, I'm gonna put this together, and it's like, fucking 4/5 great guy's cradle. Right?
yeah,
4 guys cradle. This is a card. I do need to get some more guys cradle proxies, actually. I have one guy cradle proxy. I don't find myself wanting Mox Diamonds all that much. Not even bad enough to go get the proxy. Although there are some decks that I would like to mess around with, just get used to the play patterns and stuff. But I'm not drawn to the Mox Diamond decks. Lingeny's been putting out this whole series of decks or videos and grow a tog. Should you have 3 diamonds, 2 diamonds? How about Moxless diamonds? No. What am I saying? Not Moxless diamonds. How about no diamonds? No diamonds in grow a tog. I've been on that. I've been living that no diamond life all this time.
yeah.
All this time. I go no diamond everything. I've been doing no diamond white weenie. I do no diamond burn. How many diamonds do I run in my goblins deck? None. It's easy for me to live that no diamond life, right?
No diamonds, no problems.
I don't find myself wanting to build decks that really benefit from the diamonds. But as a lover of green fatties, I constantly want guys' cradles.
Yeah, I agree with you on this. Yeah.
And not even one. I had one proxy. Ryan from Ohio one day was like, "You want some proxies?" I got a bunch of extra proxies. I was like, "Yeah, give me one guy's cradle." Now I need 4. Anyways, Verdant Force, very famous. Famous from Rexer, famous from the Secret Force decks, famous from the deck that Alex used to play back in Poland, Ohio in 1997, where he would natural order for it, and BJ's basement. That's the end of
Plus
the
woolly
creatures.
spiders, plus Lurgwoif.
Plus, what? That was the deck? I can't remember.
That was a mono green deck, I think.
Okay.
It changed over time, but I had, woolly spiders. I think there were Jolreal centaurs at one
Oh,
point,
okay, okay.
elves.
Oh, never mind. For some reason, my head went to giant spiders. Woolly spiders was, yeah, that was a
Yeah,
blast.
well, everyone was playing
I still
Sarah
love woolly
Angels.
spider.
We were playing this card in the same format as Sarah Angel at the same time. You know what I mean? So you had to make sure you could block Sarah Angels.
Woolly spider.
Wally,
Holy shit! I spelled it right the first
Wally
time, and then
spider.
I changed it, and
You
everybody's gonna see
did.
that. Everybody's gonna see it. It's recorded. What am I doing now, Alex? Jesus Christ. Yeah, it gets +0, +2 in turn. So it's a 2/3, but if it blocks a flyer, it gets +0, +2. That's right.
Yeah,
I love the
stable.
woolly spider. This is in the deck that people love to call like the worst deck to ever win the Pro Tour. I fucking love that deck so much. That's the end of the creatures in the pre-modern card pool
Oh, phew.
that are fungi or that generate saprolings or other fungi, or that have fungi on their bodies, like the spore froth. So we're on to
Hey,
the
we went off
non.
topic a lot.
Yeah. And we've been talking for a long time. I don't know. We're on non-creature spells. I've been so hyped up of Fungal Shambler and Writ the Awakener that I've lost track of time.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on to the enchantments now. We're going to begin our tour through the non-creature fungal spells in pre-modern with the enchantments. The first one I found is Saproling Infestation. Sapling Infestation. It's 1 colorless, 1 green enchantment. Whenever a player pays a kicker cost, you put a 1/1 green sapling creature token into play. It's a rare from Invasion. Reprints none, despite the fact that it's never been reprinted since the year 2000. In the year 2000, it's been a long time since I did that, Alex. In the year 2000, despite the fact that it's never been reprinted, has a current market price of 37 cents because ain't nobody paying kicker costs.
Nope.
People are almost never doing this. Almost never. And then, okay, what if you're playing
Yeah,
against,
not enough to justify having that enchantment in your deck. Yeah.
what if you're playing Swift Cut 1987 on MTGO? I forgot to say that This deck went 5-0 in an MTGO online. It had a 5-0, which is why I saw.
Okay.
That's very good. So he's winning some games with it. What if you're playing Swift Cut on his Rith mid range and he plays the kicker cost on his Thornscape Battle Mage to destroy some artifact you have in play?
Yeah.
So he tapped 1 white, paid the kicker.
So what?
Then you get a 1/1 green sapling token,
Yeah.
and then Rith flies over, kicks you in the dick, and then generates how many sapling tokens?
Right.
More than one.
Yeah.
So it's a garbage card. I'm moving on. Saproling Cluster is the next one. Saproling Cluster. This is 1 colorless, 1 green enchantment. Pay 1 mana, of any color. Discard a card from your hand, Put a 1/1 green Saproling creature token into play. Any player may pay this ability. So anybody can do it. It's a rare from Nemesis. It has 1 reprint in a World Championship deck, Alex, from the year 2000.
Oh, neat.
In the year 2000. Current market price for the original printed is 46 cents. When I first saw this, I thought there's got to be combo potential here, right? But I didn't think much about it. And then I saw it was a key card in this World Championship deck from 2000. And it was not only in the deck, it was a 4 of, right?
Graveyard deck?
It's a deck we should talk about in depth at some point in the future when I play test it for a little while, learn a little bit more about how it works. You ask if it's a graveyard deck.
I see.
Not totally, but like it
Yeah.
does have Yogg's Will in it. You can play cards from your graveyard, but it's not really a graveyard deck.
But I see Academy Rector.
Yeah. So the deck is Chimera. And it was, I think, designed, if not designed, at least piloted by Nicolas Lavare at Worlds 2000 Brussels. And what the deck wants to do is generate infinite mana, just at a very high level, as explained by somebody who's never played this deck, played with it or against it. How does it do that? Well, you have Saproling Cluster in play, so you can pay 1 mana, discard a card, generate a 1/1 Saproling. And then you have Ashnod's Altar in play, where you sacrifice a creature to add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool, right? So you've now paid 1 mana, lost a card, generated a Saproling, sacrifice a Saproling to generate 2 mana. And then you have Fecundity in play too. Fecundity says whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from play, that creature's controller may draw a card. So you use 1 mana to generate the Saproling cluster, lose a card. You sack it to generate 2 mana, and then you also draw a card from Fecundity because you've put it into play. So you get another card to discard to the Saproling cluster, and now you have 2 mana to feed into the Saproling cluster, where you only need 1 mana to activate the Saproling cluster's ability. So every time you sacrifice a creature, you draw another card to pitch to the Saproling cluster, but you generate 2 mana. And you only have to pay 1 mana to activate the Saproling cluster. So every sacrifice nets you 1 mana. 1 mana
Gotcha.
plus. Netted 1 mana. So you just do that to go infinite. You can generate infinite mana. And then what do you do with the infinite mana? Well, it seemed like the main deck WinCon was Whetstone, which is a card from Urza's Saga. It's 3 colorless, pay 3 mana. Each player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. So you mill your opponent. Generate all that mana, feed it all into the Whetstone, mill your opponent. Well, you say, oh, well, you got to put your shit into the graveyard too. Well, the deck runs Sarah Avatar in the main deck also, which is another rare from Urza's Saga. 4 colorless, 3 white, has power and toughness each equal to your life total. When Sarah Avatar is put into a graveyard, shuffle Sarah Avatar into owner's library. So that can go back into your library.
So you keep yourself from ever running out of cards.
I think that seems right, right? That's what works, right? Is that right, Alex?
Well, from milling at least. I mean, if you have
Yes.
to draw it, you'd lose.
From milling. It also runs Pattern of Rebirth. Whenever enchanted creature is put into a graveyard from play, that creature's controller may search his or her library for a creature card and put that card into play. So there's all sorts of other cards in this deck to just help you assemble that Saproling cluster, Fecundity, Ashnod's Altar, Whetstone combo, right? You have your Enlightened Tutor to help you find your
Yeah.
enchantment and artifact
The
pieces.
Academy
You have
Rectors
Academy
and
Erector to go get your enchantment. Uh, you can sacrifice the Academy Rector to various things, including Ashnod's Altar, including uh,
you can put the Pattern of Rebirth on it before you
Phyrexian,
sacrifice it.
yeah, Phyrexian Tower, including a High Market. Yeah, you could put the Pattern of Rebirth on it. So not the kind of deck I usually play, but you can get a general idea how it works, even from me very poorly explaining it.
Yeah.
In addition to the Whetstone, there's also Blaze, which seems like the more obvious win con in my mind, but it's in the sideboard. Maybe, I don't know what else was popular at the time at Worlds in 2000, but maybe there was like a lot of Blue Blast running around or something, so Blaze wasn't the best. Maybe Whetstone was better than Blaze
Yeah, I'm
for that
sort of
reason.
thinking like they thought like I don't want to start with red. They might have anti-red main board,
Yeah.
and then after the first game, they won't be preparing for the red, and that's when I bring it in.
Blaze is just an X spell, which I'd never seen until I looked at this deck. One red X sorcery deals X damage to target creature or player.
Basic fireball,
Yeah, even more basic than a fireball.
even more basic.
Right. Okay, so that's Chimera. That is Saproling Cluster. Pretty cool card. Rare from Nemesis. Generates Saproling.
Yeah, and in a non like infinite situation, like it'd be fine in some kind of graveyard deck, I feel like.
Yeah, yeah, it's a discard outlet at a
You
minimum.
just set up
Discard outlet.
your reanimation spells.
Next enchantment that generates fungi or saplings. Spore Genesis. It's 3 colorless, 1 green enchantment. During your upkeep, you may put a fungus counter on target non-token creature. Whenever a creature with a fungus counter on it is put into a graveyard, put a sapling token into play for each of those fungus counters. Treat those tokens as 1/1 green creatures. When Spore Genesis leaves play, remove all fungus counters from all creatures. This is a weird card, really. It's a rare from Urza Saga, no reprints, current market price of $3.05. I'm surprised it's a $3 card, reading what it does. You put fungus tokens on things, creatures, and they need to die in order to convert those fungus tokens into saprolings, right? So you just have it just generate tokens that just sit there, and if the enchantment gets removed, then your tokens just disappear before they even get to do their thing. And by
Yeah,
do
so you
their
need to
thing, I mean
have
generate the sapling
the
tokens.
tokens on something that you can like sack at instant speed. So if they're going to
Yeah,
destroy Sporogenesis, you could sacrifice it in response to still get your tokens. I'm also thinking about cards that already deal with fungus counters. Um, so this would be a way to add fungus counters onto something that already does it faster.
that's true.
Additional fungus counters, but I don't know. In pre-modern, most
Like
of those
Muff.
cards are like old school cards.
Yeah, I don't see it in pre-modern at all. So maybe it's just a $3 card because it's like a decent enchantment to run as a one of in your 100 card fungus commander deck. Maybe.
Yeah.
Next card, one we've talked about before, Saproling Burst. 4
Oh,
colorless,
yeah.
1 green. This is one of my favorites. I run it in fires. I run it in various big green decks. I have it in my beefcake. I don't think everybody plays this in beefcake. I've liked this in my beefcake build.
I think this is a good example of what we were talking about before, where you have a card of 4 mana or more that, like, you need it to win you the game to have it in your deck,
Yeah.
and this card will do that. It will win you the game.
I was just watching somebody on YouTube today play it fires uh in pre-modern. He took it through like I think he took it through an MTGO league or something. I also got the impression he wasn't a frequent pre-modern player. He played a lot of other formats way
Uh-huh.
more often, I think. Uh, but he was asked to play this deck, take it through a pre-modern league. And at the end of the video, he even mentioned Sapling Burst as like a card that he might take out of the Fires deck because it doesn't doesn't win you the game right away. And I was like, what? That's exactly what Saproling deck does in the Fires deck with Fires. Like it's 12 damage coming right at you. So I think maybe he just didn't. I don't know. I don't have an explanation for that, Alex. 4 colorless, 1 green enchantment, fading 7. Remove a fade counter from Sapling Burst. : Put a green Sapling creature token into play. It has this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of fade counters on Sapling Burst. When the burst leaves play, destroy all tokens put into play with Sapling Burst that can't be regenerated. It's a fader. Pull fade counters off of it. Turn them into Sapling tokens. The best way to use this in a fire deck is to cast it after Fires is out, and then you immediately rush for a large amount of damage. He was an all-star, a finisher in the Fires deck. Sees play today in Premodern Fires, which doesn't see a whole lot of play. And combo decks like Panda Burst, this is also a good one to play when you have Pandemonium out. Burst all these Saplings into play. Deal a shit ton of damage as soon as they come into play. And then Greater Good combo, which I don't know a whole lot. I don't really know much about. We have to look into that in a future episode. I have it in my Beefcake deck. That's what I've mentioned. It's pretty decent to ramp out with City of Traders or City of Traders Plus, Hickory Woodlot, Soul Lands, various Soul Lands. Bring it out pretty quickly. And I run Concordant Crossroads in my Beefcake too, so you get some hasty Saprolings bursting in your face.
Yeah.
That's the end of the enchantments. Going to move on to the sorceries, Alex. The fungal-related sorceries in Premodern, starting with Spontaneous Generation. This is 3 colorless, 1 green sorcery. Put a 1/1 green Saproling creature token into play for each card in your hand. It's a rare from Mercadian Masks. It has no reprints. Current market price $3.41. I've seen this appear in Parfait decks, including a Sam Black Parfait deck with Spontaneous Generation as the only win con. We've talked before about how Sam Black decks usually have like way fewer win cons than the decks that I build, where I always feel nervous if I don't have like 25 fucking creatures to keep casting because I don't know how to play control. This deck that I found it in, it was a pretty cool deck, so I wanted to show it. Parfait, Sam Black, Misty Mountain Games. He played it in 2023. This was pre-Lantax Squirrel Rack Band. So if you remember Premodern back from that era, Premodern from back in that time, Sam Black and others were running these almost really oppressive, like Squirrel Rack, Lantax decks where they just had answers to everything at all times. And when I watched people play these decks, it was very similar, the gameplay, at least to my eye, to the way that just the deck played in old school. Generate card advantage, have more answers than your opponent has threats, and then have 1 or 2 win cons. Once you've taken over the board, once you've taken complete control, then you hit him with your win con. The win con in this deck was Spontaneous Generation. And you often had a lot of cards in your hand because it was a Gush deck. It was a Lantax Scroll Rack deck. Control pieces, lots of counter magic, counter spell, foil, removal in the form of Swords to Plowshares, Seal of Cleansing, neuter your opponent's creatures with humility. Anyways, classic Parfait deck from that era. Next sorcery is Symbiosis, Saproling Symbiosis. Be more specific. Saproling Symbiosis is 3 colorless, 1 green. You may cast Saproling Symbiosis as though... I'm sorry. You may play Saproling Symbiosis anytime you can play an instant if you pay 2 colorless more to play it. So it essentially had a 2 colorless flash cost. Put a 1/1 green Saproling creature token into play for each creature you control. It's a rare from Invasion, reprints on Dominaria Remastered. Current market price of the Invasion copy is $1 $1.42. This was as high as I saw it, I looked it up on MTG stocks earlier. This was as high as $20 at some point in 2021. I have no
Really?
idea why. I
Get them
have no,
now.
that's what I'm doing. I have
Yeah.
one and I actually am buying three more because
I should actually pick this up because I could put this into some decks for fun.
yeah, it's a decent card just on its own. Even if you're not doing anything broken with it or necessarily
Yeah.
building around it. I like token generation and anthem decks all the time. I know they're not the best, but
I'm always looking for
yeah.
more token generation in pre-modern, especially, I don't know, yeah, playing black and green, like, uh,
I did
well,
see it in some CEDH decks on MTG Top 8, so maybe that was the source of the spike to $20 years ago. It gets nowhere to be found in pre-modern. I don't ever see it in pre-modern.
huh,
So now we're almost at the end, Alex. We're almost at the end of fungi and fungal associated cards in the pre-modern card pool. I'm going to end with a group of cards. I call them the mutation spells. Why do I call them the mutation spells? They all have the word mutation in their name.
that's fair.
So I figured that was a decent thing to call them. Artifact mutation.
Ah,
This isn't a category of card that I really like that I still never play.
yeah, me
I
too.
always look at these cards. I'm like, I like this card. I don't
When I
play it.
first saw this, I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Artifact mutation is 1 red, 1 green instant. Destroy target artifact. So that's good. I always like to have artifact removal in my main board. You got to have it. It can't be regenerated. Put X 1/1 green saproling creature tokens into play where X is its converted mana cost. So you destroy an artifact and you generate creatures. What's not to like about that?
yeah,
This is a rare from Invasion. It has reprints in Commander 2016, Commander 2020, Commander Streets of New Capenna. Commander players must like this card. Current market price for the Invasion copy is $236. All the reprints are over $2 too.
it makes sense. I bet you see some high casting cost artifacts in Commander,
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
can nail with this. In pre-modern, I think other than the casting cost obviously being two different mana, I think its downside might just be that the artifacts you come up against are all going to be like low mana artifacts, so you're going to get like two Saprolings.
Most of the time, or zero. Yeah, yeah, 0 to 2. 0 to 2, two saplings, and also it's just I don't play this card for the same reason that I don't play the very next one I'm going to show you. It's just they lack the versatility. You have disenchant and naturalize available to you to destroy an artifact or an enchantment
Yeah,
in one slot, one card. And the ability to generate like a 1/1 or 2/1/1s just doesn't make up for the loss in versatility.
yeah.
So the next one is Aura Mutation.
Hmm.
This is 1 green, 1 white instant. Destroy target enchantment. Put X 1/1 green saproling creature tokens into play where X is converted mana cost. This one's probably, I think, better than Artifact Mutation because you're probably going to be making, well, first of all, I mean, there are powerful artifacts and enchantments in the format. I think if you had to choose a category that was more oppressive, I think the enchantments are more oppressive. There's more powerful enchantments. The
Actually
enchantments,
weighed against the options you have for destroying them.
the uh the enchantments also, I think, I haven't crunched the numbers, but I bet they're more on average higher casting costs. So you're probably going to get
Yeah,
more saplings out of it.
yeah. You face more four casting cost enchantments.
Also a rare from Invasion, also reprinted in Commander 2016 and Commander New Capenna.
Okay.
And also in starter commander decks. I don't know if that's one specific product, but it's listed here as starter commander decks. Current market price $3.95. Again, I also love this card, never play it. And then we got some other mutation cards that were printed in Apocalypse. These ones are just garbage, Alex. They're too high casting cost. So you have either mutation, either. You hear that? I'm pronouncing it correctly. We figured out how to pronounce this
Either.
work several years ago on earlier episodes of the Old Mage MTG podcast. Is it either? Is it either? Most people don't know, but we know it's either mutation. 3 colorless, 1 green, 1 blue sorcery. Put target creature return target creature to its owner's hand. Put X 1/1 green saproling creature tokens into play where X is its converted mana cost. Okay.
Ugh.
Okay. I'm going to pay 5 mana to unsummon your
Why?
Dreadnought and get one
Why is it
saproling creature.
so? The other cards are 2 mana,
I
and
know.
all
I
this
don't know
does
why they
doesn't
did
even
this.
destroy a creature, it just unsummons it.
I know. I
And
don't know why they did it.
5 mana
Why'd they do that?
in blue green in pre-modern.
I don't know.
Yeah, terrible.
It's up. I know it's upsetting. The next one is Death Mutation. This one's even more upsetting to me
Is it really? Oh,
because it could have been something for me to put in my the Rock Butt Fungus
okay.
pre-modern Fungasaur deck, but this is not playable. John Finkel doesn't think Shadow Mage Infiltrator is playable. You know, we have different ideas of playable. Neither one of us think Death Mutation is playable. Watch me find out that he did something like Death Mutation 20 years ago. Death Mutation, 6 colorless, 1 green, 1 black, sorcery. Destroy target non-black creature. It can't be regenerated. Put X 1/1 green sapling creature tokens into play where X is converted to mana cost. Why
Okay.
why 8 mana for a
Better
creature
than the
removal?
last one. I like it more than the last one.
What?
Yeah,
It's 8 mana. You're
I
never going to
know,
be able to cast it, Alex.
but
Never. Ever.
if you do,
I do like the art.
art's cool.
This is some of the Nantukos are black. I don't know what the lore is behind that. You know, there's some Nantuko shade, for instance.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is a black man Nantuko. Never read the books. The Nantukos, there's probably like a group of them that are like overtaken by evil fungus or something, and then they destroyed the forest around them. I like this
Ah,
Nantuko destroying this
I didn't even
poor.
think about this being an Antuco in the art.
It sure looks like an Nantuko to me, and he's
It does.
destroying the tree folk. He's attacking the tree folk.
Yeah. So this says it has a reprint in Commander 2011, and I think
Yes.
I guess you know, that's what I'm seeing in it, compared to the last card we just looked at, I guess. It's like, in some Commander game where someone brings out like they cheat out a 9 mana creature or something like that.
But you're going to be dead before you can cast this. It's 8 mana. I
Eh,
know what you're saying. The Saproling generation payoff is
people spend 8 mana sometimes.
what the fuck, Alex?
I'm going way
Well,
off script here. I'm
well,
off
wait,
base.
hold on. The other one, wait, hold on. I was gonna say the Saproling generation payoff is better. No, they're both generate the number of Saprolings that are equal to the casting cost of the creature, right?
Yeah, true. Same
Yeah,
payoff.
yeah, same payoff. This one's just harder to cast, but it kills the creature instead of unsummoning it.
Yeah. I don't like this, by the way.
8 mana.
I don't like it.
Anyways, I got upset mostly because I was looking for fungal related cards in black green to put into my the rock butt fungus pre-modern fungasaur deck.
Mhm.
And there's not much. And I saw this and I'm like, why? Why does it have to be 8 mana?
Yeah.
If it was 4 mana or something, even if it's 5 mana, maybe I'd play it because it fits the theme. There's not
Yeah.
much for that theme.
I played at 5 mana.
8 is psycho. I'm
It's
never
like you're
gonna
right.
get there. I mean, oh no, that's not true. Maybe sometimes. Sometimes the rock gets there. It's just too much. Anyways, that's the end. I'm tapping out. Those are all of the fungi and fungal associated cards that I was able to find, that Alex was able to find in the old school through the pre-modern card pool.
I
If
wish there
you,
had been more. I wish there were some that were more directly on point, like
then we would have had an episode 3.
a certain type of mushroom, like
There
some,
weren't a lot of mushrooms. Yeah,
yeah.
saplings. They're saplings.
When
That's
we
most of
look
what we
through
got.
the Scryfall listings and I go by like art search, there's a whole bunch of modern cards that just have mushrooms in the art that come up.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and I was like, oh man, they really enjoy putting like mushrooms in art nowadays. Um, but it wasn't as much with the older cards. And there are more on point mushroom related cards, but in the modern pool.
Yes.
So it's definitely caught on more in the Magic space. They've come to appreciate the fungal kingdom, which I think they
There
should because fungi are fascinating.
That's why there are some of these cards that are like over a few dollars, and I'm like, why? It's because of Commander, I'm sure. And there are some popular, I don't know the modern card pool, but there is at least one really popular like mushroom commander that I see people dress up as.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Is
No,
his
but
name like
I believe it.
Slimefoot? Is there a Slimefoot? No. Old Slimefoot. There is a Slimefoot. I don't think this is. Oh, it's a legendary creature fungus, but I
Yeah,
don't know if this is what I see people. I think this
that's
is
pretty
what
cool.
I think this is what I see people dress up as, but these don't seem like the card I'm looking for. I wonder if there's an older. Anyways, there's at least one popular mushroom commander that I know.
Okay.
So yeah, there is a much bigger fungal card pool. I just don't got time for that, Alex. I'm sticking to the old frame right now. Although earlier today, I was on my phone looking at what's it called? 2015, Magic 2015 or something. And then I was telling myself, no, don't do it, Steve. Modern 2015. Don't do it, Steve. Don't get into modern cards. You don't have any money.
No, yeah, don't do
You,
that.
you don't have any money for even old frame cards. But there is this 2015 modern format that do play a lot of really cool cards. And I have thought about at least reading more about this and learning more about the modern card pool. Uh, this is all before, I think this is all before Planeswalkers were printed. And all before some other major changes too. So there are some people who like old Magic who are also like into 2015 modern.
Okay.
I was looking around on the meta decks, and there are some cards that I do think I want to buy from this era because they look fun to me and are very cheap. And that's what pre-modern was for the most part when I started. Like there was a lot that was cheap, like Exalted Angels, Ravenous Baloth, stuff like this. Just like mid-range health stuff that I like that I could just get for like 50 cents or a dollar.
Yeah.
Not anymore. But there's cards like this that I've seen before. Siege Rhino.
Yeah, I've seen that.
This is a 35 cent card or something. This is in my wheelhouse. One colorless, one white, one black, one green. 4/5 trample. When Siege Rhino enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. So like
Yeah, I like that.
a 35 cent card. And it was a big card in the competitive landscape around this time. 2015 junk. I don't know. I bring this up to say, because you said something about modern cards. We start talking about modern cards. I don't know any of this card pool, and I do want to start exploring some of this. We're not going to do it now. We got a lot of time on this podcast. This is going to go forever. You and I are going to live for a very long time. We're never going to stop talking about Magic the Gathering. Wizards can shut down now, never print another card, and we'll still have a whole lifetime of cards to explore.
And we're already old mages.
We're already old mages.
Nothing's gonna happen. We'll just still be old mages.
That's the point. Exactly.
Seems like you get it, Alex.
Exactly. And we talked about this before. We're never going to catch up. But by the time we get to modern stuff, it's going to be like 30 years old. So we're going to
For
be
now, I've been contenting myself with playing newer card pool cards as limited. Because I've been playing with my sister and my brother-in-law a little bit of like limited new sets. And
Mhm.
that's fun because I don't have to learn like a whole giant card pool. We're just like
Yes.
opening some packs,
Yes.
gets the crack some pack itch, and you learn some new cards and see some things that are, novel to you. Um, and build some decks, and we're all kind of like on an even playing field. So
Mhm.
I'm messing around with that for now, and I think that's fun.
Anyways, since we've got back into Magic, like there's cards in this card pool that I've heard of before
Yeah.
and I've been interested in. Siege Rhino, Snapcaster Mage, Ad Nauseam, Grizzlebrand. No. A lot of stuff from this era. Some of it's expensive. Some of it's not cheap. But a lot of it is price-wise more similar to what pre-modern was when I first got into it,
Yeah. no
Mhm.
reserved list stuff.
That's the other thing. Yeah,
You
no
know,
reserve list stuff.
it's all stuff that's like reprintable or has been reprinted.
Some of the cards in this deck, various decks from this era that I'm looking around the meta decks, a lot of them run Tarmogoyf. You and I didn't
Yeah,
play in the era of Tarmogoyf, but I've heard a lot of people talk about Tarmogoyf
yeah.
as like,
I feel like that was like, coming down, dying off as we were like starting up. It was like, yeah, getting replaced.
yeah. Yeah, this used to be, if you look at the price chart for Tarmogoyf on MTG stocks, it's wild. It's I think now they're like 15 bucks, but not that long ago. Am I spelling Tarmogoyf correctly? Ah, fuck you, MTG
I
stocks.
don't know, man. I don't know.
Fuck you, MTG stocks. No offense. I would love you as a sponsor. You're actually really great. I'm blaming Zoom because
I
you're only
love you.
slow. You're only slow when we're on Zoom. That's not true. I'm lying because I don't want to offend you because I want you as a sponsor at some point. You're slow when I'm at home by myself too, just trying to look up prices. But it's hard out there. Might have a hard time finding devs or something. I don't know. How do I spell Tarmogoyf, Alex? Tarma and Goyf.
Tarmogoyf.
Tarmogoyf? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Tarmog.
Tarmogoyf.
Mog.
This isn't going to show me what I wanted to see anyways. Why am I looking up on Scryfall? Damn
I don't
it.
know what you're
I
doing.
can't quit you MTG stocks. You're the only site that has the chart that goes back to like 2014. Scryfall doesn't have that,
It's true.
because they're not MTG
Okay,
finance
so
degenerates. They're just about presenting card information.
this can't be right. Hold on. This is wrong. What's the first printing of this card?
It's in this set right here. This future site? Yes.
Yeah, but that's a reprint, right?
No, future site is
Oh
the first
no,
printing.
okay, they just did a reprint of this style.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And I think
This
it's like
says it peaked at $200.
200 bucks. I know.
Yeah, okay.
I'm putting all my fucking money into Tarmogoyf. Over the next 10 years, I'm slowly dollar cost averaging the
In
Tarmogoyf.
case it comes
15 years,
back.
10 years from now, the nostalgia is going to hit. Everybody's going to need the original printing of Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, when we started playing, this was like 60 or $50 and coming down. It was like
Yeah.
coming off of its, glory.
It was 200 bucks at some point.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know anything about 2015 modern. It looked interesting to me. And I'm liking that a lot of the cards seem to be budget friendly because they
Well, I
just seem
like
to
that.
be Lantern
Go ahead.
Control. I hear a lot of people talk about legendary Lantern Control decks. I don't know anything about that.
Oh, okay.
Still a lot I need to learn
Heard
about
about
pre-modern.
Lantern. Uh, what I like, if I understand correctly, is that it's a snapshot in time kind of
Yes.
format. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh, so that's cool. At least, you know what you're getting into. And I like no planeswalkers if that is also correct, because I do not like planeswalkers.
Okay, Alex. Unofficial. This was segment 1.5.
Okay.
Alex and Steve talk about 2015 modern for a few minutes.
All right.
Now we're moving on to segment 2 of the episode. I'm calling this segment Premodern Lobstercon 2026 happened. And that's a true statement. Premodern Lobstercon 2026 did happen back May 1st to May 2nd. What is Lobstercon? It's a community driven. I mean, you probably know this if you listen to this episode, if you've made it this far, especially. If you listen to this ramble about premodern fungi for like an hour and a half, you probably know what Lobstercon is. It's a community driven Magic the Gathering event held in Greater Boston. It celebrates old school and pre-modern magic. It's been around since 2018. It started, I think, as just old school. A few years ago, as pre-modern started to get more popular, they added pre-modern. And now pre-modern has grown so much that it just wasn't viable for the tournament organizers to have pre-modern and old school tournaments like at the same time. So they had to split it up. And starting this year, I think it was the first year that the Duress crew in Boston took charge of organizing and hosting pre-modern LobsterCon. That is what just happened. It's held at the Dante in Boston, run by the Duress crew. 2 days, day one, Friday, which is crazy work on a work day. People traveling, you know, I had to work, man. Could I have taken the day off? Yes, I could have taken the day off.
You could have quit your job.
I could have quit my fucking job to go to Lobstercon. Uh, I could have walked into my boss's office and said, like, I'm going to fucking LobsterCon or I'm quitting.
Big red claws
and
on
then
your
he'd
hands.
say,
Clickety
what?
clack,
And
clickety
then I'm
clack.
like,
Got him.
forget it, I'm out of here. And then he'd be like, you have time off. And I'd be like, fuck you, I'm quitting. Day one, Friday, 9 rounds of Swiss. Cut to day two. And day two is 5 rounds of Swiss, followed by a cut to top eight. That is a shit ton of Magic the Gathering. 9 rounds. I don't remember how many rounds we played at the Buckeye Brawl. Was it 7 or something?
7, I think. Yeah, I was tired.
I was non-functional midway through round 4. I told you
Yeah.
I felt
Right?
my battery drain. And I got to some point where I was like, I didn't want to shuffle. Oh, yeah. I drew my 7 and I was like, this is a bad hand. I got a mulligan. And I thought, I don't have the energy to shuffle. So I just kept it. So I can't play 9 rounds. That's crazy.
It'll be better next time. It was more taxing this time, I think. You know,
Yeah. Well, it was the
it was
first
like
time
a
we've been
first
in a tournament. Exactly.
fresh.
Now I need to know. And now I know that I need to take some meth before I start.
Yeah.
Deck construction follows official pre-modern rules. Of course, gold border cards are allowed. Reprints are permitted. No proxies. I'm always seeing people on Reddit all the time asking about pre-modern. Can we use reprints? Can we use proxies? The answer is always yes for reprints. Like I don't know of anybody that says no reprints. It's almost always yes for gold border, unless it's an official Wizards tournament. And scumbag Chris Cox, if he's still the
And
CEO
they
of
don't even
Hasbro, I don't
do
know.
official pre-modern tournaments, right? I mean, maybe they
Well,
do,
they're
but
starting to because it's getting
yeah,
bigger.
because
So
I
this thing
see
that I
it.
signed up for coming up in July, it's a company that runs it. And like Wizards of the Coast allows these companies to run these tournaments.
Uh-huh.
And in these cases, they say no. They say no to no proxies, no gold border even. No
Okay.
gold border. Because they're not official Magic cards, you know.
Yeah.
When you look on the sites, they have the not tournament legal slash
Yeah.
term. Crazy word. But anyways, LobsterCon, what I brought that up in general to say the community in general, you're just going, I don't know any group anywhere that I see posting online that I follow on Twitter that gets upset with people showing up with proxies,
Yeah.
especially not with gold border or reprints. So the community in general is really gold border, reprint, and proxy friendly in general. We want more people to play.
Yeah.
LobsterCon, which is the pre-modern North American Championships, they are gold border and reprint friendly, no proxies. Sometimes it's like that for these bigger tournaments because, I mean, I don't always know the reasons. Or I don't know why they make these decisions. But I think sometimes for the bigger tournaments, they just say no proxies because really you have to somewhat limit the number of people that want to show up anyways. So I don't know if sometimes they say no proxies for that reason. There were 326 players here. Way more people tried to sign up. It sold out in 9 seconds.
Saw that.
So even if they were trying to, like limit people by saying, oh, no proxies, there's still even a ton of people that have the reprints, have the gold borders, have the originals that want to come to this tournament. They can't make it because there's just not enough space. I said 9 seconds. They sold out in 90 seconds. 90 seconds. The top 8. This is what I wanted to talk about, Alex. The top 8 of LobsterCon. I should have pulled this up. I should have been more prepared for this. I didn't pull up this link. I'm going to look at the top 8 of LobsterCon real quick. You
Here he
had,
goes. He's doing it, folks.
I'm doing
He's
it.
pulling it up.
You had position 1 and 2. You had Parallax Replenish. So you had Replenish decks. Even though Parallax Tide was banned. People are like, the Tide is too strong. We have to ban it. Parallax Replenish still took the top 2 spots in the North American Premodern Championship this year. Tideless. It's just that strong, even without Tide. People are like, ban Wave now. And I'm like, don't ban Wave, please. I like to play Parallax Wave in my white weenie deck. I'm constantly catching strays in my white weenie deck, Alex. I wanted to do land tax, scroll racks, white weenie,
Yeah.
like some of the old white weenie decks from back in the day, and they banned my land tax because Sam Black is too good at playing parfait. Uh, so I couldn't do that. That dream died. And I've really enjoyed playing Parallax Wave in a very fair way in my white weenie deck. Just sometimes it just gives me the one or two extra turns I need
Yeah.
to wave away their creatures temporarily and chip in for one or two more attacks with my white weenies. That's all. Sometimes all I need to win the game. They're like ban wave. I'm like, come on, man. I'm enjoying the wave in my white weenie deck. I don't know what else to say about that. I don't think they're going to ban.
I appreciate that, you're using it in like a moderate way, not as
Yeah,
like some sort of ultra lock combo, you
I
know.
want to. I want to play really good cards in non-broken ways in my stupid
Yeah, yeah.
weenie decks.
Yeah.
So Parallax Replenish 1 and 2. Oath Ponza came in number 3.
Okay.
Uh, this person came in third, Claire Ackerman. I noticed that like last year she was I think she was in the top 15 or something, top 16 of Lobstercon too. So I don't know if Claire's a former pro Magic player or what, but puts up incredible numbers uh in pre-modern. Top 18 Lobstercon this year, top 16 last year. At 4 we had Burn, 5 we had Full English Breakfast, 6 you had an Elves deck, 7th you had Pit Rack, 8 you had Mono Black. Just a few takeaways. Alex and I didn't go to pre-modern, or sorry, to LobsterCon. I didn't spend a lot of time studying these decks. I just kind of glanced at the top 8 and had a few thoughts about it. Main takeaways are no Dreadnought, Goblins, or Enchantress at the final 4 tables. One of the things people were talking about leading up to this tournament is Dreadnought too powerful? Does Dreadnought need to be banned? Again, I feel like I was catching strays. I'm taking everything very personally. I feel like I was catching strays. Every time I would hear that, I'd be like, that's the only play set of reserve list pre-modern, like big reserve list pre-modern cards that I have.
Oh.
I don't have survivals. I don't have a playset of replenish. I don't have mox
Dreadnoughts.
diamonds. I don't have intuitions. I just have the dreadnoughts.
That's funny.
Don't ban them. I only have them too because I had one that I pulled out of a pack back in the Mirage days, 96. I think that's when Mirage was printed. I pulled a dreadnought out of that pack. I thought I
And you
can't do
kept going.
anything. Thought I can't do anything with this. And I put it in a box and it sat in that box for 25 years, 26 years, whatever. And then we started playing pre-modern and dreadnought became a thing. And I was like, oh, well, that was still at the time, I say I have a hard time, hundreds like my cap. I got these below 100. I think I picked them up for 70. I was like, I also had
That's
a,
cheap. I was gonna say 100, but
I
dang.
got them for under 100. I also had a higher paying job at that time. So I was like, let me blow a bunch of, that was a good time to get into pre-modern when I had a higher paying job because I was just
Yeah.
like spending an unreasonable amount on Magic the Gathering every month when I would get my
Mhm.
paycheck. Uh,
And it
but
was all a wise investment, Steve. What have
it
you
turned out
learned?
to be, yeah.
What have you learned?
But I didn't get the survivals, I didn't get the Mox Diamonds, I didn't get
Yeah.
Black Border City of Traders and get any of the big stuff except Dreadnought. So don't ban them. So takeaway: no Dreadnought, no Goblins, no
I'm
Enchantress at the
surprised by
final
no
4 tables.
Enchantress. That sticks out to me. And is encouraging because I fear the Enchantress.
Yeah.
Uh, I initially wanted to build it and then I gave up because I was like, oh, it's too expensive. And now I just fear it, try to scurry around it. Um,
What do we learn from that? One of the things I learned from that is I think, what do we learn from the fact that there's no Dreadnought, no Goblins, and no Enchantress at this final 4 table? Let me just focus on Dreadnought and Enchantress because everybody thinks Goblins is a good deck. Everybody knows that. Usually gets top eights because a lot of people play it. Because a lot of people play it, a lot of people are prepared for it too. Dreadnought and Enchantress are 2 decks that some people are like fear that are that they're broken and that some
yeah,
cards might need to be
the format
banned
is
from them
solved
in.
and these are the
Yeah.
top decks of the format. And, so to see them not in here is encouraging.
So what do we learn from that? One of the things I learned from that is something that I already knew. or a feeling I already had about pre-modern,
Mhm.
which is there's enough powerful hate in the pre-modern card pool
Yeah.
that just about everything can be dealt with. So if something becomes a big enough proportion of the meta, if something becomes oppressive enough, if people want to beat it badly enough, there are enough hate cards to combat that
Yeah.
deck that it can be hated out. Now, not permanently, because these
Right.
things go in cycles.
It's
But
not a
that's part of
permanent
what
solution. Yeah.
keeps the format fresh.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think it's ever going to get boring. There's this constant cycling of what's somebody optimizes something, a strategy spreads, it becomes more and more powerful, more and more people play it, it gets
Yeah. Just the
refined.
popularity of a deck can,
People start to feel it's oppressive, and then other people get their brains together and they think of new ways to combat it. And I think it all works itself out. That's just my opinion. So no Dreadnought, no Enchantress in the final four tables. There's a lot of hate. Another takeaway: Parallax Replenish is dead. Long live Parallax Replenish. This is still a top deck after the banning of Parallax Tide. We banned the Tide, the oppressive card. Replenish is still taking down Lobstercon. They innovated. They added Decree of Silence as a powerful control piece. And I'll say, even without Decree and Tide, we can't play Tide anymore. You can play Decree. If you don't pull your Decree, I mean, Parallax Wave, Seal, Opalescence, Replenish, that's all very powerful on its own.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get the oppressive Decree of Silence pseudo lock out
Yeah.
where they have to
You
fight
mix
through
that
multiple counters, it's still an incredible deck.
you mix that package with other, like solid staple cards or like really powerful cards, and like it's a winner. So I
Another
see
main
that.
takeaway, Alex,
What else?
from deck that came in fourth place, the deck that came in fourth place, Burn, piloted by Stuart Ziarnik. Ziarnik came in fourth with Burn. I really liked this deck list. Creatures 13, 4 Grim Lavamancer, 4 Jackal Pup, 4 Mog Fanatic, 1 Orcish Librarian. It's 1 Orcish Librarian. Never seen
Wow.
this. An Ice Age classic, a Phil Foglio classic, an Orc eating library paste in a book. You might think, who would play this card? Somebody who ate paste. No, somebody who made the top 4 in Lobstercon, right? It's 1 colorless, 1 red, 1/1, summon Orc. Pay 1 red, tap it. Take the top 8 cards of your library, remove 4 of them at random from the game, put the remaining 4 on top of your library in any order.
Someone who doesn't want to draw any more lands.
Somebody who doesn't want to draw any more lands. So a lot of people are talking about the spiciness of the Orcish Librarian in this deck. Orcish Librarian, this is old tech that's new again. This was in the original slide deck designed by Paul Sly,
Oh, okay.
an Orcish Librarian.
Neat.
Uh, I listened
You never
to, what were you going to say?
Go ahead. I was just gonna say I never paid attention to this card back in the day, but I also didn't own one. And
Okay.
I want to think that if I owned this, I would have seen, the upside to it and the use case scenario for it.
Well, I'll say how much none of us really were like dedicated Sly Burn players. I don't remember a lot of people. We
No.
had some red decks that we would bring out. I remember, like, of course, lightning bolts flew back and forth. I remember some goblin balloon brigades, floating over and attacking me. But like, none of us were like heavy red mages.
I think at least, I think our impression at that time was that going just straight red was sort of like risky in one note, so you blended it with other things. Like there was a lot of red green and red blue flying around. I played both of those at various points. So it was kind of like, temper the downside of red with something else,
Yes,
some counter magic or ramp or
yes,
whatever.
yes. I was more of an Urnum Burnham guy than
Yeah.
a Sly guy, a
Yeah. I
straight up burn
played
guy.
red
Never was.
blue
Yeah.
for a long time early on.
Counter
The
burn guy.
red green when everyone loved Curd Apes.
Yes. Oh,
Uh,
yes. Taigen and Corday. So that's the kind of stuff we played. Orcish Librarian, not as good in those decks. Like, Orcish Librarian is good to kind of almost ensure that at some point later in the game, you're drawing a burn spell every time
Yeah,
because burn decks are land and burn.
yeah.
So, like you said
Well,
earlier, make sure you don't want to draw a land.
also, I
Uh,
mean, this would be
not as
fine with
good.
reanimation too, right? Which I never noticed. But again, I didn't
Yes, it
have
would
this
be.
card.
It would be.
Uh, you know, you could use that to dump creatures into your graveyard.
Yes. Again, it is random, but yes,
Yes, yes, not
with
like
some
ideal
frequency,
or
you're going to end up getting.
optimized, but like, you know,
So yeah, Orcish Librarian. This is a spicy include, but it's old tech. I did listen to a podcast. You can listen to Stuart on the Fool's Tome podcast. Mhm. This was just published 8 days ago now. Episode 5 of Fool's Tome with Stuart. He talks all about his burn deck and his experience at Lobstercon. Uh, he talks specifically a little bit about Orcish Librarian. He said he never really drew it and he boarded it out all the time.
oh yeah.
It's just a card that he really liked. It's like he went to Lobstercon. I really like this and just played cards that he really liked.
Mhm.
He loved the Orcish Librarian and he boarded it out most of the time. I think this is probably what most people are asking about. Like, how did the librarian do? And he's like, yeah, I took it out. Uh, never drew it, and I always boarded it up. But I like the card.
I can empathize with that. Yeah.
uh, Instance, 14 instance, 4 fire blasts, 4 incinerate, 4 lightning bolts, as a burn player does, and then 2 Urza's Rage. I thought this was pretty cool. I've seen Urza's Rage before, but you don't see it in all the burn decks. And I've had some experience lately where I've been playing some more red. It has made me appreciate this card more, and I think I will start playing at least one of them. It's 2 colorless, 1 red. It can't be countered by spells or abilities. It deals 3 damage to target creature or player. And it has a kicker of 9. 8 colorless, 1 red. If you paid the kicker cost instead, Urza's Rage deals 10 damage to that creature or player, and the damage can't be prevented. So you're you're almost never going to play the kicker cost.
No,
But
but it's good without it.
yeah, the thing about burn is sometimes you almost get there, right? Sometimes you almost get there. Then the evil blue mage has enough counter magic to just stay alive until they kill you.
Yeah,
But if you get them down to 3, you can Urza's Rage past their counter spell, past their daze, past their foil, past their Blue Elemental Blast. Blue Elemental Blast says, target red spell is countered or something like that.
yeah.
So
I immediately thought
smart
of
include.
like Psychotog decks. You can use that to knock out a Psychotog and they can't counter.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, they could
Yes,
pump it,
Alex.
if they
They
have
could pump it,
things to
but
pump it, but I mean, if you,
they can't always pump it.
yeah, they
You
can't always
you
pump it.
you time it correctly.
So I'm thinking of decks that use counter magic that have like a, 3 toughness or lower creature that they're relying on was where I was going.
Yeah, that's good too. 2 volcanic hammers. I don't always see volcanic hammers in the slide decks. It's just another incinerate. 4 seal of fire, and then 4 curse scrolls. Also very interesting. That's way more curse scrolls. That's more curse scrolls than I usually see. Way more curse scrolls than I want to play. I've actually changed my burn deck a lot since I saw this deck because I was going no curse scrolls. I got a thing where I don't like curse scroll that much, and it's probably a bad thing. It's not right. But I also have a thing where if I'm not going to play at least 3 artifacts or enchantments, I don't want to play any.
I
I don't know if I'm the
totally
only
understand
person.
that.
Okay. I don't know if it's just a me thing or not, but it's like I either want to have 3 artifacts and enchantments or none.
Once you
And
start thinking about your opponent's removal packages,
exactly.
then it's kind of like, oh, like, having 2 artifacts in my deck, they're just targets. But if I have 6, now they have to play carefully.
Yes. So, and Seal of Fire isn't, yes, it is an enchantment in the burn deck, but nobody's going to be disenchanting your Seal of
Yeah,
Fire. They're going to be saving it for something else
sure.
that you don't want them to get rid of, and that thing's going to get removed. Uh, so I've changed my burn deck around because I was down at 0 curse scrolls. I kind of like I like,
I was at 0.
I was at 0. Now I'm going to be at 3 or 4. I'm still messing around with it a little bit,
Yeah, I
but
like it. I like that it's a you know, infallible turn one play. Um, it's always or an additional play if you're playing some card and then you just have one extra mana. You can also
Mm-hmm.
play that too whenever.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives you something to do earlier game, like just getting it down, and then obviously it gives you something to do later in the game, activating it. Um, you want to have enough that you draw it probably. So I don't know. Just messing around with it a bit in like mono black. I was doing three, I think.
Okay.
Um, but also I didn't do well with my deck when I played it, so maybe that's wrong.
I'm also well. I mean, you're not the only one that puts three curse scrolls in Moneyball Black too. Like it's. I think even this episode that I listened to, the podcast, Full Stones podcast with Stewart, they mentioned when they were talking about the curse scrolls, they mentioned Moneyball Black. It is common for Moneyball Black to run
Yeah,
more
yeah.
than yeah,
Yeah, it was. I
at
think I
least
just,
three.
I had such a small sample size of games uh playing. Like I didn't play the deck a lot or get a lot
Hmm.
of practice with it. So I think it underperformed with me, but I think that was more a function of how many games I played, probably.
Yeah. I'm also running kind of an unusual. I mean, running an unusual burn deck. I'm started playing burn because I wanted to play some specific spells that people say you shouldn't play. Because I like them. Because it's a whole thing where I just want to let my opponents make the decisions. And you're like, that's a bad strategy, Steve. And I'm like, I know. But I find the tournament experience to be more chill for myself when I have to make fewer decisions. So I'm playing a weird burn deck, which runs fewer creatures than most burn decks, including this burn deck. And the curse scroll I started to feel was needed because I need more recurring sources of damage.
Yeah.
Can't just be throwing instants at people. You need some recurring sources of damage. I don't have any jackal pups. I also fucking hate jackal pups. That's the other reason I'm playing this weird burn deck.
I
I'm
don't blame
anti
you.
jackal
I
pup.
could definitely
Fucking
like
hate it.
I respect it. I know it's been part of World Championship decks. If I'm gonna brew, I'd probably start without it and try to make it work without it. It's just my feel.
The only jackal pup I've ever lost a game to was my own jackal pup.
Ah,
Is that true?
that sucks.
No, I made that up.
Oh,
But it's true in spirit. I hate jackal pup.
yeah. Grim
So
Lavamancer, though, I continue to be impressed by it when I
it's a
see
great
it
card.
in
Yeah.
action. It really does a lot of work, and so that's another thing the Orcish Librarian works well with in this deck. You can stock
Yes.
your Grim Lavamancer supply. I forgot to say that
Yes.
earlier,
Yes, that's
but
true. Although he did just board it out.
yeah,
Remember that.
yeah.
My favorite thing about the deck, and this is related to the very beginning of the episode when I was like, those Bloodstained Myers that I received that were counterfeit that I sent into TCG Player and got a refund for. Although if you do want to buy Bloodstained Myers, I don't want to tell you not to. Most people who run burn decks do run for Wooded Foothills for Bloodstained Myers. And if you still need to buy your Bloodstained Myers, click our affiliate link in the description below. We get a
Five,
little
five,
percentage.
or six
And
if you
if
want.
and if somebody sends you counterfeits, you just send them back. You get a refund. No big deal.
Is
But
this ports though, or is it because you like uh the port in the
my
deck?
favorite thing about the deck, 23 lands,
I
so
knew it.
more lands than most burn decks, 15 mountains, 4 Rishodon ports, and 4 wastelands. Alex, I have a thing
Yeah.
with fetch lands that I don't really like them that much,
Hmm.
but I'm being forced. I'm not being forced. I'm being peer pressured by my peers who are offering no pressure at all. They're just posting their list online and then I'm
Pressuring you
feeling
by example.
exactly. Uh, I'm being peer pressured into playing 8 fetch lands every time I think about making a burn deck.
Yeah.
And I just don't like it. Maybe this is crazy too, because I don't have much burn experience, and I never hear anybody else who plays a lot of burn ever say this, but I especially feel like it might be bad in the mirror match. It's like
Yeah.
whoever cracks 3 fetch lands dies.
Yeah.
Like I don't like that. It scares me too much to take that much damage. I find myself often taking 3, 4 damage from the 8 fetch lands you play, and it does fuel the Lavamancer, which I love, and which is why I convinced myself I needed the fetch lands. But I now see a person who top forward at Lobstercon, he didn't play any fetch lands. Not only did he not play 8, he didn't play any. So this makes me feel like, you know what? I'm going to go with my gut, and I'm not going to play the fetch lands. This is proof that I don't need
You
the fetch
don't
lands.
gotta.
In addition to that, playing control decks with burn. I have limited experience of this, but I ran into some issues last monthly where I thought to myself, I would really love to have some wastelands here to waste those fucking treetop villages and or Mishra's factories. Instead of wasting burn spells on them, I can wasteland a factory or a treetop village and send the bolt at your face,
Yeah.
which is my preferred plan. I could do that with the wasteland. In addition to that, when you waste the factory or the treetop village, you're also providing some fuel for your Lavamancer. So you're giving your Lavamancer fuel, you're saving a burn spell that you can send to your face, and you're using it to kill one of their creatures, as opposed to just cracking a fetch land to fuel the Lavamancer, where you're just fueling the Lavamancer and doing a damage to yourself.
Yeah.
So Wasteland's good. It's just good. In Port, I'm not a good port player. I feel like there are ways to play ports, and I am not taking full advantage of port
Me too. Yeah.
because I've
I'm a
tried to
little
use.
afraid to like, have it in and rely on it because I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to get the tempo right.
Yeah,
But
I'm not
in a
getting it right.
monocolor deck, low cost monocolor deck like this, I think there's room for it. I think it's an
Hmm.
okay move.
Yes, it definitely is. With 15 mountains, it definitely is. It can be done. And the port is also another way to, one, either slow. I just need to be better at playing it and at making the tempo plays with it to slow my opponent down so I can just get that final bit of damage in before they
Yeah.
cast their Exalted
Maybe you could do
Angel
three
or
instead of
cast their Ivory
four,
Tower. I've thought about it. I've been messing
whatever.
around. I started with 4 Wasteland, 4 Rishodon ports. I've been playing around with either like 3 Wasteland or 3 ports. I'm trying to figure out what's comfortable for me. It could also be used to tap down the man lands again. So like I ran into a
Yeah.
lot of man lands that I had to waste burn spells on. It's not a waste, but I had to use burn spells on. That's more burn that isn't going to the face. I feel like the ports in the wasteland, they give me some ways to slow down decks that I just need to slow down for a turn or two. They give me ways to uh, destroy or tap down the soul lands of combo decks that need those soul lands to move just a little bit faster than the burn deck can usually move. And if I can just destroy those lands or tap them down, I can move faster than them. Don't have that ability when I'm just running fetch lands. Uh,
Yeah.
so I was really happy to see this land base. I was like, that's what I'm doing. I'm following my gut. I'm not playing the fetch lands. I'm going wastelands, ports.
I like it.
LobsterCon also included 2 side events. Those are my big takeaways. That you don't need fucking face lands, fetch lands in Premodern Burn. Stewart is living proof of that. He top forward. That there's enough hate in Premodern that we don't need to ban Dreadnought. And of course, Parallax Replenish isn't dead. You don't need the tie for that. Anyways, I wanted to say there was also 2 side events, one of which was Premodern Unchained. What was that? It was hosted by the Rochester Royals. And in Premodern Unchained, you can play up to 4 copies of one banned non-anti card in your deck.
So that's how it worked. I see.
Yeah. I wanted to shout out Ryan from Ohio for a top 8 with Grow Talk. Fellow Ohio player, fellow PMS and PSHS graduate, Ryan from Ohio. Top 8 with Grow Talk at the Premodern Unchained event. One final thing I want to say, if you missed out on Lobstercon this year, wait for it, twitter.com. If you missed out on LobsterCon this year, consider heading out to what I've been calling for a long time now, for like a year now at least, the LobsterCon in the Midwest. The date for the second Buckeye Brawl has been announced. Save the date, September 12th, 2026. Buckeye Brawl number 2. I will be ready to brawl if I sign up fast enough and I get in. Alex will be ready to brawl if he signs up fast enough and he gets in. If you play us, there's a good chance you win. So I
Yeah.
hope that we make it there and you draw us.
If I get in, I'm going to bring something stupid this time.
Because at least you'll have fun losing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You got a brew. You got a brew. I think you should work on that brew through September.
Yeah, I have some brews. As long as I practice enough, I feel like I can.
There's one brew in particular I think you should bring. I think you should bring it. I think you could work on it to make it strong enough that you could do well in a tournament, especially if you focus your sideboard. I think you build that sideboard to hate out the best decks in the tournament. You have some
Yeah,
game with that deck. That's what I think. We got to think about it.
I dig.
I dig. Okay. Well, I was going to pull up the uh little poster for uh fucking hell, the Buckeye Brawl, the second Buckeye Brawl, September 12th, 2026, but I spelled Twitter with one T, so it just timed out and the Twitter didn't load. And I'm not going to retype it
Now you're on a government list.
because I already told you the date. So September 12th, 2026. You don't need to see the poster right now. I'll show it later. There's a lot of time left to advertise it. It's only May 17th. That brings us to segment 3 of the episode, Alex. Segment 3 is the Old Mage Poetry Corner. This is the part of the episode where Alex reads a poem that he curated special for our newest channel member. This poem was curated by OldMageAlex for Jurism 244 at JRISM 244. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining the channel.
Thank you.
Alex, what poetry are you going to read today?
Well,
Oh, one thing. If you're not Jorism, you guys got to turn off the episode right now. This is this poem was curated specifically for one
once you
person.
subscribe, you can go back to the old episodes and listen to the poems.
Yes. Anyways,
Um,
what
I,
are we doing?
I was going through some old cards. I was
Okay.
looking at Caracas from
Oh yeah.
Legend. Uh, most of us are familiar with this, or many people are familiar with this. White legendary land.
Caracas. This card gives me PTSD because I was probably like 12 or 13 and I had an issue of like the Duelist, I think. And there are a bunch of advertisements in the back of the Duelist, right? For like shops and stuff like that. Remember the
Yeah, I
advertisement section?
feel like you told me this story, but I
Hmm.
can't remember it.
Yeah, I've said it before on the podcast too. And I don't remember what it was about this particular advertisement. I decided to call one. I called the number because I was interested in getting some old cards that I couldn't find at Hot
Ah,
Shots.
I
And I
remember
wanted to
that.
call them up and ask them if they had a particular card in their inventory. And it was Caracas. I don't know what it was that drew me to Caracas, but I always loved Legends.
And would you call it Carcass?
And I called them and they said, hello, they picked up. And I said, I'm calling because I'm interested in purchasing a card. I want to know if you have it in your inventory. They're like, what are you looking for? I'm like, it's a card. It's called Carcass. And they start looking around. We don't have anything in our inventory called Carcass. And I'm like, it's a land. Can you tell me anything more about it? It's a land. It's from Legends. No, there's no Carcass. And I'm like, well, I don't know then. Like I told you what it did. It's from Legends. I've seen it before. Uh, and then they're like, do you mean Caracas? Do you mean Caracas? And
Idiot.
they started laughing at me. They're like, oh my God.
Maybe
Oh,
they were
you
just
mean
laughing at
Caracas?
the
You mean
situation.
Caracas? Okay, yeah. And I'm like, it went on for a long time. Like they just kept laughing to the point where I'm on the phone and I'm thinking to myself, can we get past this? Can we get past the fact that I mispronounced the name of the card and I didn't know what it was actually named after? I didn't know. I'm
No.
13. I live in Ohio. I don't know. I'm not dumb. Uh, but sometimes I get things wrong. Sometimes I see words I don't know what they are. Maybe I think I know what they are. I mispronounce them. I mispronounce stuff on this podcast. Uh I fucking called the order of the Ebon hand, the Ebon hand, like multiple times on this podcast, and you correct me every time.
I
I don't
just saw
do
a card the other day that I looked at and I realized that during the entire time we played in the 90s, I pronounced it wrong and then like I had like a consonant out of order and I was like, how did I like I know how to read. How did I not get this? It happens. You know.
it happens. I was 13. They laughed at me for like 10 minutes on the phone. And every time I see this card, I think about that.
Yeah.
Caracas, Legendary Land.
You have to pull out the Legends
I got to
version
go to the Legends version.
because they stopped putting real life quotes on Magic cards for some reason. We hate Shakespeare.
They probably got sued. They got
So
sued
on
by
and so
Emily.
forth.
They got sued by Shakespeare.
Shakespeare's ghost. So
Okay.
on Caracas, we have a little snippet of a poem by Emily Dickinson about a bee.
A B.
And I was looking at this card and I was like, oh, to make a prairie, it takes a clover and one bee, one clover and a bee, and reverie. Emily Dickinson. So I was like, oh, I better look up the Emily Dickinson bee poem. Well, it turns out there's only two more lines to the poem. The reverie alone will do if bees are few. It's like, ah, well, a charming bee poem, perhaps not so much about bees and more about daydreaming and internal thought and how we perceive things.
I will say though, also the prairies, they will disappear without the bees. Like you can't
Oh
just do
yeah,
it
I
with
mean,
Reverie. You can't do it with Reverie, Emily.
true.
Just
If you want real prairies, yeah, we need some ecological protection.
yeah.
Yeah. So that was a really short poem. I wanted to see what the full poem on Caracas was, and it was a little short, so I thought, why not look at the other bee-related poems by Emily Dickinson? And I found a second one that I would like to read, in addition to the first very short bee poem.
Two poems. The
Two
first B
poems. Yeah, the
poem was a
second bonus poem is the
this
first one
is
was
the
short. That's
original.
what I was
This
trying to
is
say.
the poem. This is the poem curated. The first poem was a bonus B poem,
Yeah,
right?
that was
Okay.
the setting the stage snippet of a bee poem. And here we are now.
Future channel members don't always expect two poems. Sometimes there may be a bonus poem though.
Yeah.
Depends on Alex and if he's inspired. Yeah.
Like trains of cars on tracks of plush, I hear the level bee. A jar across the flowers goes, their velvet masonry, withstands until the sweet assault their chivalry consumes, while he, victorious, tilts away to vanquish other blooms. His feet are shod with gauze, his helmet is of gold, his breast single onyx, with chrysoprase inlaid. His labor is a chant, his idleness a tune. Oh, for a bee's experience of clovers and of noon.
It was a beautiful reading, Alex.
You're welcome.
I enjoyed that one. I like these
Thank you. I
poems
mean,
personally. I like these poems that rhyme because they're
thank
easy
you,
for
and you're
me.
welcome. By the
They're easy
way,
for me.
chrysoprase, I had to like,
I was going to ask you if you looked that up and got a
dude, I
pronunciation
looked at this
correct.
like six times. I'm like, I'm gonna say this wrong when I read the poem. I'm gonna pronounce it wrong. Chrysoprase.
Oh,
Chrysoprase. I'm just gonna
is
chrysoprase.
it inlaid? Is it
Yeah, that's a
onyx?
key.
Is it a huh?
That's a key.
Yeah, so is it I'm
It's a
trying to think of
hint.
the word. Is it a mineral? Is it a rock? Is it a stone?
Oh, dude.
Is it a
You are a
crystal?
genius, Steve.
Mineral,
It
rocks.
is an
I
apple
said five
green
different things.
gem.
Okay.
An apple green colored gem.
I mean, it's inlaid, so what else would I
Yeah,
figure?
well, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I am a genius. You hear that person who laughed at me? Is just fucking comic book store guy who laughed at me 20 some years ago because I didn't know how to pronounce Caracas.
I bet
Alex
he doesn't
called
know
me a
what a
genius.
chrysoprase
I
is.
bet he doesn't. I bet he's never even heard that word. I bet if he did see that word, he wouldn't know how to pronounce it. I bet he wouldn't even know where to look it up.
He's probably dead.
I was just gonna say, I bet he's dead, but I thought, no, I don't need to go that dark. But you did it. You did it, Alex. One can only hope. That's not true. But he was mean to me for no reason. Thank you very much. If you've listened to this long, this is the outro of episode 122 of the Old Mage MTG podcast. That was the Old Mage Poetry Corner. Thank you so much to all of our channel members. I think we have 6 so far, 6 channel members. That's 6 more than I thought we were going to have. Not only do you get a poem, you get to use little wizard emojis in the comment section too. If you ever want to say anything to me or Alex, if you ever want to yell at us for anything we've said that was wrong on the podcast, if you ever want to insult us, that's fine. If you're a member, you can insult us and I'll leave your comment there. If you're not a member, I will delete your comment. Nobody will ever see it. But if you want to say something really mean or ignorant to myself or to Alex, just pay us $1.99. You can say whatever you want in the comment section as long as it doesn't violate Google's terms of service. Because if you do that, it's not up to me. It just gets filtered out. It gets removed. There will be also no racism and no sexism in the comment section. And it must be directed towards either me or Alex. Actually, just me. It could be directed towards me. Alex didn't opt into this. If you opt into this, Alex, it can be directed to Alex, but he hasn't opted in. So if it's directed to me, I will leave it as long as you're a member. If you are not a member, I will remove it. Do you have anything else that you want to say to members or aspiring members, Alex, before we leave episode 122?
Thank you for inviting us into your homes.
Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. And we will be back sooner than a month. It's not going to take me a month next time to put together the next set of show notes. I already know what I want to talk about. I want to talk about some experiences at a local monthly so you can get a little window into the tournament scene here in the Columbus, Ohio area. I went to some Retromancers monthlies, playing some new decks. For a long time, I was a white weenie guy. I'm no longer a white weenie guy. Although I got another tournament coming up in July. And it's not a Retromancers tournament. It's a tournament for actual cash money. And I was thinking, should I play White Weenie? I'm not sure. I mean, if I play White Weenie, I'm not going to win. Nobody wins cash money with White Weenie at a pre-modern tournament. It just doesn't happen. You don't see it anywhere. I don't even know if White Weenie placed anywhere. And there was some white. I got to look up. Was White Weenie at Lobstercon anywhere? There had to be somebody who played it. But they definitely didn't do well. But no matter what I play, I'm probably still not going to win this tournament. Even if I bring Goblins or Burn, I'm probably still not going to win. I'd be giving myself a better chance to win if I played Goblins or Burn well. But I don't know if I'll play them well. I think I still feel a little bit more, I feel more comfortable with White Weenie than I do with Burn or Goblins at this point. But I still have a couple months to prepare. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know why I started talking about that. I can't remember. But that's all I have to say, Alex.
Delirious outro.
That's all I have to say. I will talk to you guys all later in somewhere between 2 to 3 weeks from now, potentially 4 weeks.
Bye.
I ain't gonna do this anymore. That's all for me. Goodbye.